The king of hell must be killed. The king of hell must be killed. If there's no way to deal with him, then I'll become stronger myself. Chua! Long Fei jumped off the cliff, dove down with ice and fire, and let Long Fei land on his back. And then pointed to the center of the city and said, "Charge down." Binghua's throat rolled as he said excitedly, "Master, do you want a shot first?" "Absolutely." Binghua and Xiao Bai were his war pet, so the experience they gained was all his. Rumble, just like a train passing by, the ice fire throat rumbled and rolled. Following that, it opened its mouth and slammed down on the best building it had ever built. Rumble, the huge fireball, was like a meteorite falling from the sky. It illuminated the entire Tongue Extraction Valley. "What's that? Why did a huge fireball appear? Who is it? Quickly report to the city lord that someone is ambushing the Tongue Drawing City." A sneak attack on Tongue Extraction City? How is that possible? Anyone who enters the 18 levels of hell will have their true chi dwindle. Who can launch a sneak attack? The many evil spirits did not understand, but why? Who would have the guts to do so? To dare to come to the 18th floor of the infernal realm and behave so wildly? Isn't that just courting death? The kid with the severed hand hurriedly ran into the city and shouted, "Enemy attack! Enemy attack! This guy is the person who just entered the tattoo hell." How high is this person's cultivation? The underworld branch that we're in charge of in the South Horizon region. Could this person be a war king ranker in the South Horizon region? Impossible. It's been so many years since there's a war king ranker in the South Horizon region. The only war king experts are all imprisoned in our 18th floor of hell. This person is the war master ream, and the true chi is especially profound. I delayed for 10 hours and still did not exhaust all of his true chi. Everyone, quickly prepare. This guy is not simple at all. Then, everyone was staring at the toddler. Ha! Ha ha! Just how did the war master scare you to such an extent and even cut off your hand? You are truly a piece of trash. I thought it was the attacks of the war king warriors, a mere trash of the war master ream. Watch me. Suddenly, before the fireball could hit the ground, an evil ghost took a step forward and rushed towards the ice and fire in the sky. The iron hook in his hand released a charming power. "Kid, die." At this moment, a white shadow attacked. He swallowed him in one gulp. After chewing a few times, the iron hook in his hand fell down with a bang. Then, not even a single strand of hair remained. Dead. Everyone's face turned cold. "There are two more, war pet?" The handicapped brat anxiously said, "I've already said that he is not simple. Quickly go and report this to the mayor. It will be too late if you are too late." At this moment, rumble, rumble, the fireball exploded, smashing into the city lord's mansion. The entire canyon shook violently, and the tongue drawing city was even more shaky. Countless buildings collapsed from the impact, and people couldn't even stand steadily. The city lord's mansion turned into a pile of ruins. Ding, 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 ding. The system beep went berserk. His experience points soared madly. Long Fei laughed. "That's right, Fee won great." The entire city lord's mansion was in ruins as it continued to burn. A fireball exploded, and half of the tongue-drawing city was set ablaze. Looking at the ruins of the city lord's mansion, the evil spirit's eyes darkened. "It's over. It's over. It's over. The mayor is finished. He hasn't come out even now. He's definitely going to be burned to death. Oh my God. Is the war master ream that strong? How was that possible?" The evil spirits felt their scalps go numb as they looked at the huge fire that covered the city. There were countless cells on both sides of the canyon. As they looked at the huge fire raging in the city, they all began to clamor crazily. It was just that they could only scream out woo, but couldn't utter even half a word because all of their tongues had been pulled out. However, from their expressions, it was easy to tell that they were very excited. No one had ever been able to do it. In these 18 levels of hell, there had never been one. Even if you were a war god, a war king ranker would not be able to do it, much less someone from the war master ream. Looking at Long Fei's sky demon set in the sky, the two wings of the sky demon beast fluttered in the wind, The sky demon armor shone with a black light. The sky demon's aura on its body was extremely wild, adding that to the fact that Long Fei was standing on the dragon's head, carrying the dragon's salure on his shoulder and holding the god's devil blade in his hands. Two sets of blade aura were revolving around his body. That scene was simply so cool that it was crappy to the point of crumbs. His watch had exploded. The evil spirits in the city wailed. All of them rushed to the City Lord Square. Seeing the City Lord's mansion burning crazily, there was nothing they could do. Suddenly, the ground trembled. The ground began to crack, and the ground of the City Lord's mansion started to rise, as if a monster was about to rush out of the ground. Who is disturbing my sleep? You want to die, right? Bang, bang, bang. The ground of the huge City Lord's mansion started to crack one by one, and an aura of death seeped out of the cracks. A dark green, deathly aura filled the entire plaza. Rumble. With a loud bang, the ground of the City Lord's mansion that was burning crazily suddenly exploded. A huge monster-like person rushed out from the ground. He held a huge iron hook in his hand, and his aura was extremely savage. The 18th floor. The first boss, Tongue Draw City Lord. His physique was incomparably large, not much smaller than Yamaminamiya. Moreover, the aura his body was emitting was extremely brutal and oppressive. This aura alone was enough to crush anything in its path. F*CK. Boss. Long Fei's eyes shone with a bright light. He gulped down his saliva, as though he was looking at a beautiful young lady, and wished that he could swallow her whole. He didn't die. The mayor isn't dead. Haha. Kid, just wait for your death. Those imprisoned in the cell continued to retreat. Many among them spat out blood from the crushing pressure and were unable to withstand the pressure brought by the City Lord's powerful aura. At the same time, everyone's hearts sank. With the City Master's appearance, Long Fei was about to die. Rumble. Long Fei landed heavily, looked at the incomparably gigantic City Lord, and sneered. It's really big enough. He placed the spirit on the dragon's back and said, Ice and fire, you just need to protect the spirit. He looked at the unconscious sky spirit and said faintly, I don't care if you're really unconscious or just faking it. You can absorb as much as I kill. I will not restrict your strength. I will only be excited by your strength. Finished. Ice and fire flew into the air. Long Fei pointed at the City Lord, who was standing outside the ravine, and said coldly, If I want to destroy hell, I'll start from you. The City Lord was enraged. What arrogant words. It seems like I have to pull your tongue out. Killers, kill for me. Chapter 5. Request for monthly votes 8_8419/2356767. With a command from the City Lord, all the evil spirits charged towards Xiang Longfei. With a command from the City Lord, all the evil spirits charged towards Xiang Longfei. I'm just afraid that you won't come. Long Fei coldly said, 3-rate peerless technique. Boom! With the 8 times attribute released, Long Fei dragged the god's devil blade on his left hand and the dragon's salure on his right, the 2 ferocious blades on the ground, and rushed forward with lightning speed and blaze. Boom! Putting away his blade, the dragon's salure slashed down. An evil spirit was killed. Ding! The system beep rang. He did not use any cultivation technique, other than Wushuang. Long Fei did not use any other techniques, because he was afraid that he would not be able to use them. The consumption of true Qi S was too huge. Any random set of cultivation technique would cost more than 10,000 true Qi. What Long Fei lacked the most right now was true Qi. Thus, it was all a melee. He didn't need any martial arts. Kill. Chua. With a move of the berserk blade, the head of one of the evil spirits was chopped off. Long Fei was also immediately surrounded, while more and more evil spirits rushed over from the plaza. Roar! Xiaobai turned into a giant wolf, crazily biting and devouring everything in its path. Long Fei relied on his previous life's gaming experience, his coquettish positioning, and that kind of swaying horizontal slash. Try hard not to let his body slow down even a little. He was like a man who was swaying about, slashing out, and slashing at the air with a ghost-like gait. Every time he attacked, he would strike with his full strength. Even if he didn't die, he would at least die. As long as one of them was crippled, he would be able to charge over and give a fierce beating. Boom! Boom! After the limbs flew for a long while, blood sprayed all over the ground, and the evil spirits rushed over crazily to massacre Long Fei. The city lord was furious, very unhappy. A group of trash that can't even kill a tiny war master ream. What's the use of keeping all of you alive? Immediately, the city lord was furious. The giant iron hook in his hand moved, sweeping across Xiang Longfei. Xiao Bai shouted loudly and said, "Master, be careful." The corner of Long Fei's mouth drew back as he muttered, "It's time to release the true qi that I've been accumulating for such a long time." Ghost steps. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. His footsteps were like a ghost, flickering in the crowd. He stepped out. Moonlit step. Whoosh. He immediately leaped into the air, retracted his wild blade, and tightly gripped the dragon salyer. In his fury, the demon aura on his body fused with the darkness aura on the dragon salyer. Exploding forth, the figure of the dark dragon god roared, released a dragon roar, and soared to the sky, taking action. One slash. The dragon salyer raised it above his head and slashed down. Long Fei also fell down from the sky. The dragon spirit shadow in the air also transformed into saber chi, slashing down from the center of the city lord's forehead. Boom! Ah! It hurts, it hurts! The city lord let out a painful scream, a series of bright red damage floating above his head. However, Long Fei was shocked. Fuck, 50 million HP. It was too thick. The city lord health was simply too high. Moreover, in the instant that Long Fei's blade smashed onto the ground that he was standing on suddenly sank in. A few snake-like tongues extended out from the ground and directly bound his legs. The tongue was like the tentacles of an octopus, covered with countless of suction cups, all of them rolling up and absorbing the true qi in Long Fei's body crazily. Ding! True qi 100 points. Ding! True qi 100 points. Originally, those 100 points per second would instantly drop by 1,000 points if they were caught by the tongue. This way, the true qi in Long Fei's body wouldn't even need half an hour to be completely sucked dry. Waha! He's probably trapped by my 10,000 tongue array. These tongues were all pulled out from the mouths of you people. All of them have been refined by me. Just wait to be sucked dry. Ahaha! Long Fei's mind went cold, and in his heart he shouted, "Heart Sutra! Open! Buzz, buzz, buzz!" The image of the Kitagarbha monarch appeared around his body immediately, spinning frantically. At the same time, he was chanting a sutra crazily, and the power of the evil suppression, with Long Fei as the center, quickly spread outwards. The Heart Sutra was the absolute nemesis of these things. Those tongues that were wrapped around Long Fei were quickly cleansed, withered, and withered just like flowers. The city lord frowned. Heart Sutra? Do you know a lot? Long Fei once again leaped up and waved 3 blades. Demon. 3-blade stream. Ghost slash. Swish. The 3 sabers, which were as white as crescent moons, slashed out horizontally. Another scarlet number appeared on the master of the tongue-drawing city's head. Ah! The city lord screamed. He opened his bloody mouth and covered the sky with his tongue. "I'm going to eat you." His tongue curled. Long Fei frowned as he looked at the massive amount of blood on the head of the city lord, and thought to himself, "This won't do. I can't take him. Even if I still have the Heavenly Demon Heart Sutra to recover my true qi, I won't be able to do anything to him. 50 million HP is too much. He's not dead yet, but I'll be using up my true qi at that time." Seeing the huge tongue curling towards him, Long Fei made a decision. Don't worry about that. Let's take a gamble. The city lord had too much HP, and his defense was not weak. Even though Long Fei could cause 100,000 points injuries every time, but his true qi was like a flood that was being violently spat out. Once his true qi was exhausted, he would not be able to shake the city lord at all. He was determined to take the risk. In a single fight, the bike would become a motorbike. Long Fei protected his mind and was immediately trapped by the city lord. The instant he was caught, the city lord laughed arrogantly. Ha ha. Brat, prepare to die. With a flick of his tongue, he directly pulled Long Fei into his mouth. Gudong. He laughed out loud. My stomach's refining power is faster than the entire tongue-drawing hell. Just wait for me to refine you into a desiccated corpse. Ha ha. He was laughing maniacally. He laughed maniacally. The instant Long Fei was swallowed into his stomach, his entire world changed. The city lord's body was densely packed with mummified corpses. They were incomparably sinister as they were pounced on by countless little skeletons and skeletons. It was an extremely terrifying scene to behold. Moreover, the true chi in Long Fei's body fell even faster than it fell when it was caught by his tongue. It dropped 1,500 points per second. You fell for his trap? Long Fei frowned. Who cares if he's tricked or not? I will definitely screw you. Crack. After consuming one steel mixture, Long Fei's body instantly doubled in size. His cultivation reached War Emperor realm in an instant, and the power of the War Emperor spread throughout his entire body. Long Fei floated in mid-air. Looking at the sky full of skeleton corpses, they all flew towards him. Strongest upgrade system. Zhang Xian was infuriated. The aura of the sky demon came out crazily. His eyes darkened, and he coldly said, I want to see if you can absorb it fast, or if I can kill it fast. Multiple shadows. 8 clones open. Chapter 68_8419/2356768. Boom, 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 boom. In that instant, Long Fei's mind seemed to flash with inspiration, and taking this moment, Long Fei's idea moved and fused, directly releasing the multiple shadows that he had not yet comprehended. It used to be for clones, but now, 8. Moreover, Long Fei's heart stirred as he said to the Yin Huang ancestor, Ancestor, please give them some strength. Yin Huang ancestor's voice became heavy. Understood. Buzz, buzz, buzz. 7 surges of power were released and directly wrapped around the 7 clones. They weren't an attack, but rather a defense. This way, they would be able to take a few more hits. 8 clones, 8 gods' devil body, 8 dragons' salure. At that moment, Long Fei's eyes were filled with anger. He bellowed, Kill! Rumble! The 8 of them moved at the same time. The dragon's salure in their hands swung down crazily, one after another, turning into a pile of broken corpses that fell into the deep abyss. It was also at this moment. A large expanse of system beep also resounded in Long Fei's mind. Ding, 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 ding. The berserk slashes did not stop there. He unceasingly released the dragon spirit killer, turning the body of the city lord into a battlefield, and continued to attack. Every time they attacked, a large part of the dried corpses would be chopped into pieces. Below the corpses was a bottomless black hole. Swallow your father? Does it feel good to swallow now? Long Fei roared in rage. The dragon's salure in his hands moved like lightning, killing madly. Damn it, what are you doing with my body in front of you? At the same time, the amount of HP left on his head also continued to decrease. The city lord then sat down cross-legged and shouted in a deep voice, Kid, just you wait. Yuan's spirit leaves the body. Shua, a stream of light entered his body. Next, in the bottomless black hole, an incomparably huge skeleton stood up from the abyss. It looked even more powerful than the city lord's massive body. Trash, I will suck your body dry and refine your soul into the everlasting seal in my body. The giant skeleton's body emitted a glow, which was like the glow of a ghost flame. Yin Huang ancestor reminded him, Brat, don't touch it. When your soul refines the fire, the moment it touches your soul, it will be poisoned. Do not touch it. Long Fei's gaze tensed up as he thought to himself. Hell's 18th floor. The boss of the first floor is already so fierce. How strong is the boss below? However, I like it. The stronger it is, the more likely it is to drop something. Waha. Long Fei was a madman. Even though he had been crushed into a drop of blood by Yama Minamiya, he was still able to laugh out loud. Even though the city lord was so cruel, he was still very excited. The corners of Long Fei's mouth slightly shivered as he faced the soul-tempering fire shooting over. He said with a cold smile, "Is your primordial spirit coming out of the body?" Haha. The idea moved. Long Fei's idea connected to Xiao Bai and Bing Hua and said, "Both of you, aim for the body of the city lord and attack him with your life." And then, Long Fei moved ghost steps, launching the soul evil fire's attack. He leapt into the air and slashed at the gigantic skull. Bang, bang, bang. At this moment, his 7 clones were all killed by the soul evil fire. Long Fei's dragon-slaying slash also crashed down. Rumble. A halo of light exploded from the skull. The light halo formed a boundary, and when Long Fei struck, the halo only had a slight scratch. Whoosh! Clang! The dragon salyer flew out of his hand from the shock. Long Fei was bounced back as well. Ah-ha-ha. With just this little bit of strength, it's not even enough to tickle me. The city lord laughed maniacally. Long Fei was sent flying into the group of dried corpses and was immediately bound by a large group of dried corpses. The dragon salyer was also quickly delivered to the city lord's hands by the dried corpses. The city lord laughed coldly. Dragon salyer? It's just a pity. He hasn't reached the level of a supreme artifact yet. From the looks of it, you are someone from the Long family? I never thought that there would be such a useless person in Long family. The city lord seemed to understand the Long family a lot. When one obtained the dragon salyer, one instantly knew that Long Fei was someone from the Long family, and he said that Long Fei was trash. Did that mean that the people from the Long family were all awesome in the past? Just what kind of existence was the Long family? In the past, Long Fei felt that the Long family was a great clan of the Fireglass City. The more he thought about it now, the more he felt that the Long family was not simple. His father had entered the immortal domain. His ancestors killed the dragon god. What kind of awesome existence was the dragon god to actually kill him? The Long family is very strong. Long Fei felt more and more that she was very strong. Today, I will use your Long family's legendary weapon to kill you. The city lord laughed wildly as he slashed at Xiang Long Fei. Long Fei grinned and said, "Cut me down. I wonder who will be the first to attack." At this moment, rumble. An incomparably thick wolf god's lance pierced through the city lord's head and into his stomach. The sharp spear shone as it stabbed into his stomach. At this time, rumble. The flames filled the skies, burning the entire city lord. Rumble. The second spear pierced through. It wasn't the same one. This one was even more brutal than the last one, and it was even more powerful. Moreover, at the same time, the city lord's body froze, cold air seeping into his body. Rumble. The third spear pierced through. The fourth pillar. The fifth pillar. They had not seen each other for a while, but Xiao Bai's power was already far beyond his imagination. Looking at the densely packed spears of the wolf god, Long Fei couldn't help but think of a hero, the Spear of Vengeance. I really want to. His entire body was filled with holes. Moreover, these pikes were all covered with simple lines, and traces of energy flowed between the lines. All of this energy could be released by Xiao Bai. The heck? Long Fei was shocked. Moreover, the power of fire and ice had also risen to a terrifying degree. A single flame and a single block of ice was enough to make one unable to stop. The city lord was infuriated. Damn it, to actually turn my body into this, all of you have to die. Die? Who died? Long Fei frowned. Heart Sutra. Open. When the Heart Sutra opened, all of the little desiccated corpses were immediately forced to retreat. It was as if they were bugs seeing flames. There was no one behind Long Fei. All of the dried-up ghosts had fled, allowing Long Fei to see the belly of the city lord. Long Fei's fists exploded as he poured his demonic chi into his fists, rushing Thunder Fist. Advertisement equals semi/floating life plus. Boom. As soon as he finished, Long Fei madly smashed at the city master's stomach, Not caring about the huge skeleton pulling the tongue out, he wanted to attack. Destroy his body. Chapter 78_8419/2356769. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. It smashed wildly. Long Fei's fists were lightning fast as they struck against a point on the flesh, the force of his punches causing blood to gush out crazily. The city lord had used his primordial spirit to transform into a giant skeleton. He couldn't feel the pain coming from his body, but he was furious beyond compare. The top of his head was already filled with the wolf god's lances. His body was charred black and frozen. His body was rapidly rotting. Coupled with Long Fei's critical strike, it was simply, The skeleton city lord was furious and attacked Xiang Long Fei with its blade. However, the dragon Salyer could not cut it down. Dark Dragon God on the back of the blade roared back. Long Fei did not stop and said with a cold smile, Dragon Salyer is not something that anyone can use. You won't be able to use this kind of evil thing. Dragon Salyer could deal multiple times more damage to evil beings. Evil beings could not even use Dragon Salyer S, not even if they were ordinary people. The Dragon Salyer was Long Fei's natal implement, because the Dragon Salyer was personally raised by Long Fei. It was fused by him. He had killed demon beasts for him to absorb. Furthermore, he had obtained the underworld king blood vein, which allowed him to completely transform and activate the dark dragon god's essence to truly remove his veil. Even though Long Fei didn't know that the Dragon Salyer was his own natal implement, but he knew that he was the only one who could use it. There was one other thing he did not know. There was another reason why he could only use the Dragon Salyer. Because he's from the Long family. Damn it. The city lord roared. The idea moved, and Soul Evil Fire S spouted out from his body continuously. Dozens of Soul Evil Fire S shot towards Xiang Long Fei crazily. Huff, huff. The dark green-colored flame shot towards Xiang Long Fei. Yan Huang ancestor slightly said, 3 more seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. Kid, quickly dodge it. Long Fei's fists were like lightning. He did not dodge, but in the last 10% of a second, he roared, break for me. Rumble. A punch shattered the belly of the city lord, and his body flew out. In this instant, Long Fei roared once again, Xiao Bai explode. Xiao Bai grinned and laughed excitedly. Boss, I'll let you experience my big move. At this moment, the top of the city lord's head was filled with the wolf god spears. They were densely packed, just like a spear that was about to soar into the sky. Xiao Bai's idea sunk. His wolf god's power linked to the wolf god's lance. The ancient patterns on the wolf god's lance started to flicker and then moved. The idea has unleashed their power. Rumble, rumble, rumble. It exploded like crazy. When the city lord saw the wolf god's spear explode, he shouted, No. His body exploded. The little ghosts were all turned to dust. His head exploded. His body shot out piece by piece, and the amount of health on his head dropped rapidly as well, falling by a large amount. This tempo was too refreshing. Long Fei grinned. Tongue City's master? I'll pull you out first today. Seeing the city master's body continuously exploding, Long Fei grinned and said, This is just a big move. This was the first time he had felt Xiao Bai's big move. It was really fierce. At the same time, Long Fei thought of a very important question. Could Yama Minamiya explode to death like this? Holy **T. This might be the breakthrough point. Long Fei's little heart started to beat faster. The 50 million HP quickly fell. But, suddenly, when his HP stopped at 1 million HP, he stopped moving. Other than the experience gained from killing the little ghosts and the true Qi, the system had not reminded him to kill the city lord of Tongue Draw. Long Fei looked at the health bar of over 1 million points, and his heart quivered. He's not dead yet. Xiao Bai's face was full of pride as he laughed. Master, you're not dead yet? Then I'll do it again. He was very smug right now. Because Long Fei was shocked, and because of his powerful techniques, he was extremely smug. However, at this moment, the place Xiao Bai was standing on suddenly sunk, You dare injure my flesh, I will twist off your head. An eerie roar came from deep underground. A huge skeletal hand pulled Xiao Bai's leg, bringing him straight into the dark abyss. Long Fei's face changed. Xiao Bai. At the same time, Long Fei jumped into the darkness of the abyss, only to see the city lord's huge skeleton pulling Xiao Bai towards a gigantic torture device. A tongue-drawing torture device. The city lord's body was burning with soul, evil fire. Xiao Bai immediately fainted. The city lord then flung Xiao Bai onto the rack. You dare to blow up my body, I will let you have a taste of the pain of being tongue-tied. The iron hook moved, breaking open Xiao Bai's wolf mouth. The hook snaked down. Teleport. Shua. Long Fei was infuriated by this, as he took a step forward and made a grasping motion with his right hand. Dragon Salure. Within the ruins, the Dragon Salure fiercely charged forward and instantly landed in Long Fei's hands. With a move of Long Fei's, a drop of his blood essence condensed. Drip! It landed on the Dragon Salure. The Dragon Salure absorbed the blood essence. Inside the Dragon Salure, the ferocious dark dragon god's eyes lit up. The blood of the Long family's people. 0 purity? Interesting it seems. The purity of the dragon blood in that person's body is also 0, right? All right, little fellow, on account of your ancestors, seeing you let me absorb a decent amount of blood vein for such a long time, I'll give you some power. Suddenly, the Dragon Salure began to rage. Long Fei was a little unable to control it. This power was truly too strong. It was not up to him to control the knife. Rather, the Dragon Salure had its own consciousness. Even Long Fei was even controlled by this power. No matter who it was, as long as it could save Xiao Bai, it would be fine even if it meant taking his life. Dark Dragon God was enraged. The dragon spirit shadow on the Dragon Salure's back immediately transformed into a physical entity, roared, and charged out. He bit down on the city lord, whose entire body was filled with soul, evil fire, and then directly charged into the air. It disappeared. The city lord had disappeared. The ferocious dark dragon god also disappeared. Everything happened in the blink of an eye, making people think that it was just an illusion. In the blink of an eye, inside the Dragon Salure, the city lord who had pulled the tongue trembled because an incomparably large dark dragon god was staring at him. His body was enormous. However, in front of this dark dragon god, he was just like an ant. That feeling of being crushed caused him to not even have the courage to die. He looked at Dark Dragon God. The Dark Dragon God was also looking at him. Look at me, look at me. Then, the Dark Dragon God moved and swallowed the city lord. With a cracking sound, he also swallowed the soul, evil fire in one gulp. It was also at this time. A system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! Chapter 8 first 8 chapters in the morning. There was still an update for today. It was to be delivered tonight. Today was March 1st. The C was asking for monthly tickets. If he had monthly tickets, he would have to lend a hand. Thank you very much. 8_8419/2356770. The system sounded out, and in that moment, Long Fei moved his body, released the berserk energy. The system sounded out, and in that moment, Long Fei moved his body, released the berserk energy. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Tongue Draw City's master. Congratulations player Long Fei for killing Tongue Draw City's master for gaining 1 experience point, 1 and 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the soul evil fire. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the holy artifact life Reaper Hook. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the secret ghost technique, Primordial Spirit. Do you wish to cultivate it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the tongue-drawing King Blood Vein. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the holy artifact Skeleton Scepter. The system beep continued to attack. It was also at this moment. The system rang out once again. Ding! Congratulations, player Long Fei, for slaying level 1 Hell's Tongue Draw City Lord. Special reward. Level 1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Master level 8. And at this moment, Long Fei's injuries had all recovered. The value of the true chi had risen to the maximum, and he felt an indescribably comfortable sensation. Awesome! Patriarch, I'm not looking at the power of the 2 holy artifact. I know you need energy now. You ate them both. Long Fei did not want to look at the holy artifact as attributes. He was afraid of liver pain. The Yin Huang ancestor did not hold back. The 2 holy artifact immediately wolfed them down. After exhaling a breath, he muttered, "If only there were a few more, it would be good." Her eyes shone as she stared at the thing inside Long Fei's space ring. Long Fei immediately yelled, "Eat me up." Yin Huang ancestor laughed and said, "Just kidding. I can take care of these 2 holy artifact. Boy, I'll go cultivate for a bit." The 18th level of hell was simply too dangerous. Yin Huang ancestor was very worried. Right now, he was also seizing every second to cultivate, thinking in his heart, "I have to refine the power of Emperor Yin Huang as soon as possible." And then, Long Fei checked the items. Soul Evil Fire. I can release this power into my skill, allowing it to have soul attack power. Touch rate, 5, F***CK. Isn't that the same as turning skills into high-quality skills? Cultivate. Long Fei immediately said, excited, "The Soul Evil Fire's attribute being able to cause the other party's soul to be poisoned. It must be very fierce." Tongue-drawing King Blood Vein. Before Long Fei could finish speaking, the blood vein disappeared. It was swallowed by the dragon's salure. Long Fei exhaled. "When will it be my turn to fuse with the blood vein?" Yuan's spirit leaves the body. Long Fei's heart trembled. He had seen such a powerful technique in myths and movies. The primordial spirit transformed into a stream of light that entered the place he wanted to enter. Moreover, could change. However, can the primordial spirit leave the body here to change? Long Fei could not help but think of the 72 transformations he had seen in the Sun Wukong. The monkey's transformations were not transformed using the primordial spirit. So when Long Fei saw the primordial spirit's outward attribute, the corners of his mouth slightly curled up as he said excitedly, "Cultivate." Although it still can't change, but it's not bad to peek at a girl taking a bath. Also, if the primordial spirit is able to cultivate the primordial spirit out of the body, the primordial spirit will be more able to withstand the mental strength of the sea of consciousness, and thus, there's no need to worry about its pressure. With a move of the idea S, Long Fei also cultivated his primordial spirit out of his body. After checking everything out, the holy artifact was eaten by the ancestor, and the blood vein was swallowed. He had completed the fusion of his cultivation techniques and his physical strength. Long Fei calmed his heart, looked at the dragon's salure in his hand that was surrounded by darkness energy, and the image of the ferocious dark dragon god in his mind appeared. His heart trembled. Is it the power of the dark dragon god? Why can I activate him with a drop of my blood essence? That kind of power was unimaginably strong. At least, it was something that Long Fei couldn't wield right now. Moreover, he was sure that the power released by the Dark Dragon God was something even the experts of the War King would be unable to contend against. It was just too powerful. Didn't the ancestor of the Long family kill the Dark Dragon God, then use his blood essence to refine the treasure blade, and at the same time, place the Dark Dragon God's seal inside the blade? You should hate our Long family. Why are you helping me? Long Fei had to think about this. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that the Long family was not simple. The more he understood, the more he felt that there was still another layer of mysterious veil that remained on the Long family. The Dark Dragon God could easily suppress the strong warriors at the peak of the War King. How did the ancestors of the Long family kill the Dark Dragon God? Where should he kill? What was hidden? Long Fei had a nagging feeling that something was amiss. It was very possible that it was a secret that had been hidden in the Long family for tens of thousands of years. Humph. It would be great if I could find the dragon domain. That place will definitely be able to solve the mystery in my heart. Long Fei exhaled, looked at the dragon's salyer in his hand, and said faintly, "No matter what, you are still my Long Fei's weapon, a supreme divine weapon." The idea withdrew. Long Fei hoisted Xiao Bai onto his shoulder and quickly jumped out. The square was a complete mess. The evil spirits were guarding the exit of the abyss, and when they saw a flash of golden light, their expressions changed. "It's that kid. Then, our city lord is dead? The mayor is dead." Those evil spirits all cried out as if they were crying. When Long Fei landed, he shouted with his ice and fire, "Master!" Long Fei leaped into the air and said, "Take care of Xiao Bai." He fainted. At this moment, Xiao Bai's body suddenly shot forward, releasing a loud howl. Who? Who dragged me into the infernal realm? I want to kill him." He suddenly woke up. In that instant, he felt as if he had been dragged into a bottomless abyss. It was extremely uncomfortable, but he had also fainted. Seeing that Long Fei had calmed down, she said, "Master, where is the big skeleton? I'm going to kill him. Damn it, I was scared to death." Long Fei rolled her eyes at him and said, "I went to see Marx." "Who is Marx? Is it that amazing?" Xiao Bai muttered. Long Fei did not bother about it. Xiao Bai sensed for a bit and said excitedly, "Wow, Master, you broke through again?" "Huh, yeah, I broke through again." Long Fei's mind tightened as he suddenly thought of a very important question. "I've broken through again. War Master level 8. Killing Oxhead goes up 1 level. Killing Horseface goes up 1 level. And then going up 1 level from the City Lord. Then I can go up 18 levels in the 18 levels of hell, right? I can't take it anymore. My heart won't be able to take it anymore." The scene was so beautiful that Long Fei didn't even dare to think any further. He checked the system. Killing the city leader was indeed a special reward, which was to reach level 1. Long Fei's heart was thumping hard, like a country bumpkin counting with his fingers. Hell's 18th level, there's still 17 levels, level 1, and I'll be able to level up 17 levels. I'm now at the 8th level of the War Master, adding the fact that I'm at the 17th level. Long Fei covered his heart. Xiao Bai immediately asked worriedly, "Master, what's wrong?" Long Fei laughed extremely pervertedly and said, "Nothing much. I'm just a little too excited." He was secretly pleased in his heart. "I'm going to break through the War God realm. I'm going to go fuck myself. I'm going to go to the heavens. Ha ha." Wait. Long Fei looked at the back of the fire and ice and felt like he was missing something. Where's the sky spirit? Chapter 9. Table of Contents 8_8419/2356771. The sky spirit was gone. The sky spirit was gone. When Long Fei said this, Bing finally noticed it. The god was also shocked and said, "The one that was here just a moment ago suddenly disappeared. Master, Ice and Fire were very anxious." He was blaming himself for not doing well on the things Long Fei had told him. Long Fei slightly said, "It's none of your business. If he wants to leave, no one could stop him." He was very clear on the strength of a heavenly spirit. This guy was an immortal existence in hell. Moreover, Long Fei had a feeling that the reason King Yama was able to obtain it was probably because the heavenly spirit had done it on purpose. He wanted to enter the 18th floor of hell. However, what was he going to do at the 18th level of hell? Long Fei was not clear about this. Devour even more Yin energy? Long Fei's brows slightly moved. He did not think too much about it. At this moment, a few evil spirits sneak attacked him, causing Long Fei's gaze to darken. He didn't wait for them to attack, and was immediately blown to death by a huge fireball. Xiao Bai asked, "Master, what do we do with these evil spirits?" Long Fei grinned. "Kill them all. Don't leave a single one alive." Immediately, the 3 of them descended and started to fight unrestrainedly in the plaza. The scene was a massacre. Long Fei had slaughtered the evil spirits. Boom! Ghost City, Yama King was startled. The entire underworld was trembling. Damn it. He was very clear about everything that had happened in hell. He never thought that not only did he not refine Long Fei, he was even killed by Long Fei. King Yin Luo said with a sinking tone, "It seems that I've underestimated him." Oxhead said respectfully, "My lord, the master of the tongue-drawing city is the weakest of the 18 hells. No matter how capable this kid is, it's impossible for him to break through the 18 hells." Horseface also said, "The next level is Scissor Hell, and the refining power will increase exponentially. A mere war master Reem's cultivation simply won't be able to sustain it for long." The lower one descended to the 18th level of the infernal realm. The more powerful one was. The consumption rate of the true chi was also getting faster and faster. King Yama was very clear about this, but that was not what he was worried about right now. The 18th floor of the infernal realm held extremely vicious people captive. It could be said, within the jurisdiction of the South Horizon region's underworld, the fallen rank experts, the murderous demons, berserkers, and some very special experts were all imprisoned in the 18 hells. If these people could recover their true chi and their strength could recover, then it would definitely be a calamity for the underworld. If that was the case, cold sweat seeped out of Yama King's forehead. He couldn't afford the consequences. If the underworld went into chaos, he would probably die too. Huff! King Yinluo let out a long breath and silently said to himself, "We absolutely cannot let this kid leave the 18 levels of hell alive. Absolutely not." The eyes of Yama Minamiya narrowed as a cold light flashed in his eyes. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The square was in chaos as Long Fei and the other two fought ferociously. The experience points is rising rapidly. However, compared to over 300 million experience slots, these experience points were simply too powerless. But Long Fei did not let go of any of his experience. He wanted the experience points, and even more so the true chi to maintain his consumption. Half a day later, the tongue extraction city had been cleaned up, leaving only the cells on the left and right side of the city. All the prisoners in the prison looked at Long Fei. They were all incomparably excited and had no such person had ever appeared before. Even if he was a war king ranker, he would still kneel like a dog on the 18th floor of the hell. No one could do what Long Fei did. Too arrogant, too handsome, too domineering. "Hero, let us out. Little handsome brother, let me out. I'll do whatever you want to do." A very flirtatious, extremely charming, and with a body so hot that it could explode, she gave Long Fei a flirtatious glance. It was irresistible. Long Fei looked at it, and his entire body shivered. "Let us out, and we'll follow you." "Haha, brat, I really like you. You are ruthless and fierce enough. You even managed to pull out your tongue and trample on the city lord's foot. You are too tyrannical." There were no less than 1,000 prisoners on both sides of the street. These people had one thing in common. His cultivation was all at War Emperor realm. It was just that they did not have any true chi-s within them and could not use any techniques. Otherwise, this mere prison would not be able to do anything to them. And then again, these people were all devil race people, and each one of them was extremely vicious. If such a group of people were in the same sect, then an existence that could crush any sect in the South Horizon region, any Nantian sect or Heaven sect would be crushed to the ground and turned into a dead dog. This is only the first level of hell. All of them are War Emperor realm rankers. The lower level must be stronger. Then who is the person imprisoned in the 18th level of hell? Then isn't his cultivation strong enough to explode? Peak of War King. Long Fei became excited and thought, if I can bring all of these people out, I'll kill them all. Then I'll sweep across the entire continent. Suddenly, Yin Huang Ancestor's voice faintly sounded. It's impossible for you to break through these 18 levels of hell on your own. You'll need the help of other forces. These prisoners are the best help. If you want to take them away, I can't guarantee anything. Bringing 10 people is still something I can do, but a Kunlun mirror from your space ring can still do it. Yin Huang Ancestor's voice sounded. Long Fei was immediately excited. Really? Don't talk about 10 people. Even if it was a person, Long Fei would smile like a blossoming flower. The first floor was filled with War Emperor cultivators. But wasn't there a War King ranker on the 18th floor? Just take him out. At that time, Long Fei clenched his fists and said excitedly, Hong Tianjun, I shall see just how strong you are. Heh. This was a very powerful force. Long Fei had to make good use of them. And then, Long Fei walked to the front of the prison, looked at the savage faces of the people in the prison, coldly laughed, and said, Cheer up to your heart's content, and go crazy as much as you want. As soon as he finished, the dragon's salure slashed out. The saber chi was just right as it directly cut off all the chains on one side of the prison. Clang! Clang! The door frame was pushed down, and one by one, War Emperor experts walked out. They did not have tongues, but even though they did not have true chi, their voices could still be heard. They came out of the underworld after a few years, dozens, thousands, or tens of thousands of years of practice. And then, Long Fei changed his direction again and slashed horizontally with his blade. On the other side, the other prisoners had all left their cells. They were all cheering. It was boiling. From the moment they were locked up here, they had never come out. They had never been as free as they were now. They all looked at Long Fei. It was like soldiers waiting for orders. Long Fei grinned as he laughed coldly. He pointed at the entrance to the next level of hell with his dragon salure and sinisterly said, Next level, shears hell. Touch. Overturn the 18th level of hell. Chapter 10. Thank you for supporting us with your powerful firepower. Thank you so much for your support. Table of contents 8_8419/2356772. Target, Scissor Hell. Target, Scissor Hell. As Long Fei gave the order, all the vicious people stood up and roared, and then let out a burst of ghost-like cries. Awe-inspiring. It was an awe-inspiring scene. This was truly domineering. However, at the entrance to the second floor, a gigantic seal appeared. There was a seal at the entrance, and another one at the exit. This was to prevent any criminals from escaping. Seal. Long Fei's heart trembled, and he muttered to himself, How do I break this? He did not know much about formations, but he knew even less about seal. However, without waiting for him to finish speaking, an extremely vulgar-looking man walked out from the crowd. He grinned and said, Let me. Long Fei was slightly taken aback as she looked at him. That wretched man was truly, they did not dare to say anything, and could only be described with 4 words, incomparably ugly. I, Lang Qianli, the flower harvester, greet the young lord. He had also seen Long Fei's strength. It had to be said that Long Fei was very powerful, very powerful. Even though he was a rapist, he had a sincere admiration for him. When he was alive, he had never put anyone in his eyes, let alone admired them. This name, Long Fei exhaled and asked, What method do you have? Lang Qianli looked at the seal at the entrance, and then muttered, I, Lang Qianli, have seen all sorts of seal. I have even seen the seal on a woman's stomach. This kind of insignificant seal is not difficult for me at all. However, Lang Qianli looked at Long Fei as he scratched his head. Young master, I don't have a true chi, so I'm unable to use my strength. True chi was a hard injury. Without true chi, they only had a few kilograms of strength. Long Fei nodded. No problem, go ahead. Lang Qianli said, Young master, I'm starting. Listen carefully. As his voice fell, Lang Qianli's expression also became solemn. True chi. Enter Taiyin, condense your power at the tip of your finger and break through Blood River North. Fire. According to Lang Qianli's words, with a twitch of his finger, a surge of power rushed toward the northern end of the seal's entrance. Immediately after, the power of the seal started to pour outwards. F***CK. Long Fei was shocked and thought, It's really possible. I never thought that there would be such a talent. These vicious and cruel people were not only cruel and merciless, they were also the truly capable people. Next, Long Fei followed Lang Qianli's instructions and opened the seal's door in a few minutes. At this moment, the system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations, player Long Fei, for obtaining 100 experience points for cultivating and print technique. True Qi 100 points. The reward is 100 points. Long Fei was shocked. You learned the unsealing technique just like that? Although it was not some divine technique, the unsealing art was still a kind of good auxiliary method. Qianli had only said it once before he succeeded in cultivating it. At the same time, Long Fei turned his head to look at the people behind him and muttered to himself, "One person for one special technique. Then wouldn't I have to go to heaven? Rup, isn't it too fierce?" It was also at this time that the thick stone door of the seal slowly opened. A strong vortex of wind rose up like a blade. Long Fei took a step forward, waved his arms, and shouted, "Charge! Charge! Kill! Overturn the 18 levels of hell." Everyone followed Long Fei and rushed into the second level. The 18th level of hell. The second level. Scissor Hell. Cut off 10 fingers. The moment he stepped into Scissor Hell, a wailing, ghost-like voice rang out. "Give me back my finger." At the same time, ding! True Qi 1,500 points. Ding! True Qi 1,500 points. His heart tensed up and thought, it seems like jumping to the bottom will consume even more true Qi, yes. But it was him. The people behind him had no reaction at all, because their pubes was so dried up like a desert, without even the slightest bit of true Qi. Without true Qi, there was naturally no need to worry about the true Qi evaporating. Standing at the entrance, Long Fei looked into the distance, at the evil spirits that blotted out the sky and covered the earth. Long Fei's heart was moved. Seems like they already knew about the destruction of the tongue-drawing hell. King Yama. He immediately thought of King Yanluo in his heart. Looking at the chaotic sky, he sneered, "King Yanluo, are you very nervous right now? Don't worry, I will make you even more nervous." Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. His voice became heavy, and he said, "We're blocked. Do you have anything to say? Those who are afraid of death can leave. I will not stop them. In any case, this is the only way to break through to the 18th level of hell. It is also the only chance to be free and unable to be a human being. Even as a ghost, one must be free." These people all had hideous looks on their faces. They gnashed their teeth and shouted, "Do it! Kill! F***ck it!" They had waited for 100 years, 1,000 years, 10,000 years. Finally, they had waited for this opportunity. If they didn't go for it once, then what was the point of it? What was the difference between being re-imprisoned in a prison cell and being a dead man? If you're not happy, then do it. The corner of Long Fei's mouth curved up as he smiled. "Then let's kill. Kill, kill, kill." At this moment, a man walked to Long Fei's side and said, "The Scissors evil ghost has the advantage in terms of location, and furthermore, look at all of them with mounts, hellhounds. If we were to charge like this, we would be instantly smashed to smithereens. Victory rate is 0. When knights swoop down, their strength would increase by more than twofold. In a single charge, most likely all other than Long Fei would be killed. So what else could they do? Long Fei's small-scale tactics were invincible, but in such a big scene, where tens of thousands of soldiers were fighting each other on the battlefield, he had never experienced it before, and he was not his strong point. Long Fei immediately asked, "What do you think?" The man said, "The tactics say that one should first avoid the sharp edge, pierce its vitals, confuse its heart, and cause pain. This way, it can cause great harm." Long Fei stopped very seriously. It was also at this moment. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for training tactics. You have gained 100 experience points. True Qi 100 points. The reward is 100 points. "I'll go," Long Fei muttered in his heart. "They're all geniuses. All of them are geniuses." And then, Long Fei said to the man, "From now on, you are my strategist, and everyone will follow your lead. Also, Xiaobai, you come with them." Xiaobai rushed out of the war pet space, nodded and said, "Understood." Long Fei moved. "Ice and fire, let's go." "Understood." Boom! With a leap, Long Fei landed on the back of the ice fire wings that flew out of the war pet space. And then, one man and one dragon soared into the clouds like a fighter jet. The advisor used all his strength and said, "Prepare to charge." Chapter 1. Thank you. Big Yo-Yo, Old Monk Sin, Little Kaiji for your strong firepower support. The sea is extremely grateful. 8_8419/2356773. Scissor Legion, tens of thousands. Scissor Legion, tens of thousands. As long as Long Fei and the rest dared to rush in, they would definitely die under the mountain. Seeing Long Fei's group of elderly, weak and handicapped, the Scissors commander Wu Xia laughed. "You trash dare to fight against me? You overestimate yourself. Pass down my orders. Kill them all later. Let them know that we, Scissors Hell, are not some random cat or dog that can break into hell. Do you understand?" His voice was deafening. Tens of thousands of evil spirits cried out at the same time. "Commander, why are they so slow?" Needless to say, I'm definitely afraid. We don't know how to steam true chi in hell. Their pubes are like dead grass. Without the slightest bit of true chi, aren't they afraid of us? A huge army of 10,000? Ha ha! Wu Xia laughed complacently. "I've cut them all down today. We've done a great deed for them. That old man should take a step back as well. When I become the city lord, you'll all be rewarded. Long live the Lord." Ha ha! Wu Xia was extremely pleased with himself. Holding a pair of scissors on his shoulder, he shouted at Long Fei and the others, "You bunch of useless people. I will give you all a chance to live. Kneel down and be captured, otherwise I will kill all of you. Hurry up and kneel down before our commander. Are you deaf? You bastards." All the evil spirits around Wu Xia started to clamor. Wu Xia was also proud. He spat on the ground and said disdainfully, "Ha! What Long Fei? What live person are you? In front of me, you are nothing but trash." Not waiting for him to finish, a child said, "Commander, there's a sun in the sky." Wu Xia immediately slapped him. "Are you King retarded? Where did the sun come from?" The little ghost gripped his face and muttered, "There really is a sun." Pa! Another slap came down. Wu Xia was furious as he said, "Are you King looking to die? Do you think I'm as retarded as you?" The kid lowered his head and didn't dare to speak anymore. However, he didn't dare to stand with Wu Xia because that huge sun really was falling down on Wu Xia's head. Wu Xia tugged at his collar and muttered, "Why is it so hot? The light is much better. Scissor Hell is full of dust." He suddenly looked up and his face sank. CKU, why aren't you saying anything even when there's a fireball? At this moment, the people around him all retreated far away. Because they were afraid of being beaten by him, no one dared to say that there was a sun in the sky. Rumble, rumble, the fireball exploded, and a mushroom cloud soared into the sky. Flames shot out in all directions, directly scattering the evil spirit's formation. At this moment, the advisor stood at the very front and said with some excitement, "Steady, steady. It's not time yet. There's still a little more." In his previous life, he was a strategist. He had read a lot about military law and had studied all sorts of large battle arrays in history. From ordinary human battle arrays to large-scale battle arrays between martial artists, he had studied them all. It was just that it died before he could even use it. This was because he was very special. The slightest carelessness could cause huge wars, and he was a fanatic of war. If he brought along any memories of his reincarnation, it would cause chaos. In his previous life, he couldn't even use all of the tactics in his head, and this time, he was going to use them to the extreme. Steady, steady, just a little bit more. He was grateful to Long Fei in his heart. It was Long Fei who had given him the chance to complete the dream, so he definitely would not let Long Fei die. Rumble. The first huge fireball descended, and the formation that was already in chaos became even more chaotic. Wu Xia crawled out of the fire and shouted loudly, "Kill him! Kill him! Use fire to attack him." This is too insidious. Just as he put out the flames on his body, another fireball exploded on top of his head. Wu Xie's eyes darkened. Damn. Rumble. His body became natural once more, and the pain caused him to roll around on the ground, completely dispersing the Hellhound Legion and causing them to hide in every direction. Damn it, damn it. Long Fei, I want to kill. He did not finish his sentence. Long Fei moved his hand and connected to the ice fire. Ice and fire 9 heavens, fire and ice ardent. Boom! The first layer of the 9-story heaven's beam of light descended down and directly exploded above Wu Xie's head. Boom! And then a pair of scissors flew out with a clang. Wu Xie was nowhere to be seen. He had been killed in an instant. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for slaying Evil Spirit Commander Wu Xie for obtaining 450 true chi and 1 energy values. When a commander was killed, the morale of the troops fell. At this moment, the military advisor bellowed, "Now is the time. Kill." The villains who had been waiting for a long time rushed forward like madmen. I haven't tasted killing in a long time. Brothers, as long as I swallow the blood of these evil spirits, I can absorb their true chi. If I want to live, if I want to follow young master out of hell, then I don't need to be afraid. I need to crazily absorb it. A demon elder crazily said. This was a secret technique that he had been researching for many years. Why didn't the evil spirits dry up their true chi? Because the blood vein S in their bodies, as long as they fused with their own blood vein S, could definitely restore the true chi. The crowd of villains heard this. They all became even more frenzied, as though they had been injected with chicken blood. True chi, what a thing to desire. From a moment they were imprisoned here, the true chi had been cut off from them, and no matter how hard they tried, they could not sense the existence of any heaven and earth aura. With the true chi, they would be even more unscrupulous. Long Fei killed Wu Xie and also jumped down into the air, dragging the dragon Salyer behind him. Ding! 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 The system beep continued to emit explosive sounds. This is the rhythm. Long Fei was excited. The more he killed, the more excited he got. At this time, Xiao Bai led the villains and rushed up the hill, where a crazy massacre began. Moreover, what Long Fei did not expect was, he actually had the experience of killing these evil spirits, but it was a little less than what he had killed himself. From the moment Long Fei obtained the first point in their experience, the system sounded out. Ding! Strongest upgrade system. Congratulations to player Long Fei for forming a party. You have obtained 100 experience points, 100 true chi, and a special 100 points reward. These villains were all his teammates. Ha! That would be even better, if we can bring all of them out with us. Long Fei was moved and asked again, does Ancestor really have no solution? Chapter 28_8419/2356774. Chapter 428, Boss. Chapter 428, Boss. Let's not talk about the battle capabilities of these people. Long Fei did not want to lose just these special talents. The printer, tactician, fighter. They were all a variety of strong geniuses. With this group of people, they could raise the power of the Long family to its peak. Steamroll Heaven Sect was only a matter of a few words. Long Fei really wanted to bring her out. Yin Huang Ancestor became silent. What Long Fei wanted to do was what she wanted to do. The stronger Long Fei was, the more holy artifact he would be devoured. However, if you want to take out all the vicious and evil people at once. Yin Huang Ancestor was silent for a moment, then replied, Kid, give me some time. I want to modify something, but are you sure you want to take these people out? Even if I have to waste 1 or 2 holy artifact S. Long Fei replied without thinking. I'm sure, even if I waste 1 or 2 holy artifact S to take these people out, it would be worth it. Indeed, these people's fighting strength was too strong. If they could bring them out, it would not be a problem even if there were 10 of them. Yin Huang Ancestor slightly said, All right, since you insist on this, I will think of a way. I will definitely give you an answer before you break through the 18th layer. Long Fei nodded her head. Ancestor, I will be counting on you. His idea landed on the Kunlun mirroress and revealed an excited smile. I always thought of myself as the craziest person in the Chaos realm. But, compared to this kid, my craziness is just like a fart. Brat, crazy enough. I like it. Yan Huang Ancestor became excited. I will definitely help you with this matter. Ha. The old demon was right. My true chi has truly recovered some. It is indeed useful. My true chi, I feel it again. Too awesome, huh? After consuming the evil spirit's blood, their exhausted pubes seemed like they had just been fed a sweet dew as it regained its vitality. It was truly great to feel the existence of the true chi again. Ha. Who should we be afraid of now? We are invincible. Everyone was laughing maniacally. Long Fei also laughed. However, the murky sky suddenly dropped and a shrill and furious voice rang. Invincible? You dare call yourselves invincible with trash like you? As soon as he finished, the sky seemed to have been cut down by a pair of large scissors. With a chi-la sound, the pressure of the sky was immediately followed by a thunderous roar. Boom! On the hillside, those villains were squashed to the ground. Many of them were squashed to the point of spitting blood as they died. Ding! You have fewer teammates. Ding! Reduce the number of members you have. The system beeped crazily. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. She did not care about the people who died, because war would kill people, and he did not have time to pity the people who died. He had to do his best to protect those who were still alive. Long Fei moved, stood on the back of the ice and fire, flew into the air, and then leaped once again. Moonlit step. Schwa. With a dash, he arrived above the clouds. His eyes widened as he grinned. Boss. I knew it was a boss. The Lord of Scissors of Hell, with her scissors in the clouds. It was a boss that was stronger than the Tongue Lord. Long Fei looked at him, her eyes emitting a golden light. No matter what the boss dropped to him, it was just an upgrade. The Lord of Scissors sneered coldly and said, Brat, this is the underworld. This is the 18th floor of hell. Do you want to overturn the heavens? Humph, you overestimate yourself. The pressure of Tian rushed towards Long Fei's body slightly trembled. He laughed sinisterly and said, Are you the sky? He was putting himself in front of the heavens. Don't you think it's funny? Not to mention you are not heaven. Even if you are, I will still overturn you. 3-rate peerless technique. Explode. After exploding out with 8 times his usual attribute, the pressure on his mind was slightly suppressed. Long Fei shouted again, Heart Sutra. In that instant, Long Fei took a step forward, and the dragon blade chopped down with its black blade chi. Boom! The shadow of the dark dragon god roared and rushed forward. Long Fei followed closely behind. Lord of Scissors revealed a scornful cold smile and said, You want to overturn the heavens with this kind of power? Ha. You are too arrogant. Suddenly, the giant scissors in Lord of Scissors' hands dropped and instantly blocked Long Fei's attack. The huge scissor suddenly exploded with a backlash. Bam! Long Fei was sent flying, the blood chi beneath her chest roiled. Unable to withstand the recoil, she immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. So powerful, the rebound was much stronger than the Tongue Lord alone. Kid, come again. Isn't it about to overturn the heavens? I think you're just doing a somersault. I had thought that you were very strong, but now it seems that Tongue Lord was truly a trash, someone who couldn't even deal with trash like you. Long Fei's mind started to spin frantically. At the same time, his idea was connected to the Dark Dragon God inside the Dragon Blade, but the Dark Dragon God ignored him. At this moment, Xiao Bai's voice sounded out, Boss, I'll stab him to death. The sky shook. The clouds churned as a spear of the wolf god stabbed down. When it was still half a meter away from the Lord of Scissors' head, the scissors moved and directly cut apart the spear of the wolf god. Lord of Scissors sneered, I am not trash like you, Tongue Lord. I will let a little model dog like you hurt me. Xiao Bai was immediately enraged and asked, Who are you calling a model dog? I think you're just an old fart. Lord of Scissors' eyes turned sinister as she said, I think you're courting death. Move. With lightning speed, he madly rushed toward Xiaobai. Xiaobai was not an easy opponent. Even when facing such a strong boss like Lord of Scissors, he was not afraid. Rumble. The instant of contact, Xiaobai was immediately flung out, spitting out blood. Without waiting for Xiaobai to fall, Lord of Scissors' body blurred as she put away the scissors and the hammer. Boom! Xiaobai, who was still in mid-air, was smashed to the ground. A deep crater was formed by the explosion. Once the Lord of Scissors landed, she stepped on Xiaobai's head. She looked at Long Fei with scorn and laughed coldly. Kid, are you feeling so good after getting beaten up like this? Ah-ha-ha. Xiaobai was beaten up to the point where she had no way to retaliate. Long Fei's anger churned as she flew down from the sky. Looking at Lord of Scissors, her face turned sinister. You think I have no way to deal with you? Lord of Scissors' face was full of pride. Deal with me? You don't even have the qualifications. Is that so? Long Fei's gaze tightened. Go steps. Moonlit step. 2 different speeds superimposed on each other as they dashed out. It was as fast as lightning. It was as fast as lightning. Lord of Scissors' face was full of scorn as he said in disdain, I'll see what you can do to me. In his eyes, Long Fei was too weak to withstand a single blow. Not a threat to him. Therefore, he placed Long Fei in his eyes. Secret skill. Long Fei's heart trembled, and he raised his fist. Ding! Spell distance reached. As the sound of the voice faded, Long Fei's fist opened wide and suddenly scattered out. Poison technique. Swish. Bean snake poison was unleashed. The poison turned into a dark green poisonous mist that covered Lord of Scissors' entire body. He did not move his body, but sneered, What the hell is this? The poisonous fog covered his entire body, causing him to feel a series of pain from ants biting at his body. The pain was negligible to him. However, but for Long Fei, it was no ordinary matter. Killing a boss was different from others. He only needed to drain the boss HP, and Lord of Scissors' HP would also be 50 million. As he released the skill, bright red numbers continuously floated up above his head. A string of damage words floated up from the top of his head. This was a skill, Poison. It allowed you to continuously reduce your HP. In the game, this skill was basically equivalent to the 1,000 gold oil skill. Can't kill you? Not your opponent? It doesn't matter. I'll poison you to death and exhaust you to death. One skill lasted about 8 minutes and dealt around 1,000 damage per second, with 4 million damage per hour. Could poison Lord of Scissors to death in more than 10 hours. However, as the Lord of Scissors' were being exhausted, Long Fei was also being exhausted. His true chi might not even last that long. The consumption alone was not enough. He had to think of another way to deal with him. The Lord of Scissors sneered and said, Brat, is this how you handle me? Ha ha, too weak. Now, it's my turn to make a move. Lord of Scissors coldly snorted. His body moved, and a giant pair of scissors fell from the sky. Boom! It directly stuck behind Long Fei. Lord of Scissors muttered an incantation, as if he was chanting an incantation. Suddenly, one of the villains shouted, Young chieftain, quickly dodge it. Huh? Long Fei did not hesitate. His body moved and wanted to rush out. Unexpectedly, Lord of Scissors' gigantic body directly blocked in front of Long Fei and laughed. Want to escape? Too late. The power of countless runes appeared on the scissors. Power of punishment. A broken finger. Lord of Scissors lowered the center of his brows and roared, Leave your finger behind for me. His strength moved and immediately bound Long Fei, controlling both of his hands. He extended them out, and the pair of scissors made 2 kacha sounds as it came over. Kid, I'll let you try the taste of your fingers being cut off. Ha, ha, ha. Ha. Lord of Scissors laughed out wildly. Long Fei's eyes moved. He roared in his heart. Demon Snake's eye open. Buzz. His eyes were covered with a layer of white light, and a petrified light burst out from his eyes. Ah! The demonic snake girl roared loudly. The scissors were swiftly petrified. Lord of Scissors' eyes revealed a look of fear. At the same time, his body was petrified. Soul, evil fire. Burn. Boom! A dark green soul, evil fire fused with the dark arrogance on top of the dragon salyer, and Long Fei stepped on it. Black dragon, angry slash. A single slash. Rumble. The petrified Lord of Scissors had half of his defense and none of his attacks. Crack. The saber slashed down. A critical hit with over 1,000,000 damage. At the same time, the petrification also ended in an instant. Lord of Scissors was extremely angry. Bastard. Not waiting for him to finish. Long Fei's idea sank. Multiple shadows. Eighth body. Boom, boom, boom. As the 8 figures landed, they shouted in unison, demonic, splitting pulse technique. Chua. 8 clones were released at the same time, heavily smashing onto the ground, and also blasted Lord of Scissors, who had just received 1,000,000 damage, into the air. Fiend God. Dragon Chop. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The 8 of them moved in unison. The soul evil fire S on the dragon salyer and the dark blade energy interweaved crazily. Each of the 8 avatars contained 480 slashes. 3,840 slashes. The illusory image of the dark dragon god completely enveloped the Lord of Scissors, meaning that the dragon god was dancing wildly. He slaughtered wildly. The damage continued to float. I'll take your life while you're sick. Lord of Scissors is arrogant. I want to see how arrogant you are. Long Fei let out a furious roar and seized this chance. The power in his fist surged. Anger flared between his eyebrows. Fiend God. Mountain hit fist. 8th level MT Tai boom. Boo. Crack. The 8 of them moved at the same time. As they flew into the air, the large power King Kong ape on their bodies transformed into a gigantic MT Tai, bombarding down from above. Boom, boom, boom. 8 Mount Tai slammed into Lord of Scissors' abdomen, blasting him onto the ground and creating a huge pit. Lord of Scissors spat out a large mouthful of blood. You brat, you I. He didn't even have time to finish. Long Fei moved again. Moonlit step. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Toting skill. 4th realm. Whoosh. Long Fei took the lead and struck downwards at a vertical angle, like a cannonball. Like a bolt of lightning, he struck Lord of Scissors' stomach, and in that instant, the true chi was released and directly drilled into his body. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk the other 7 figures landed. Kill them all. idea moved slightly, activating the strangling power. The inside of Lord of Scissors' body sounded like the sound of a meat grinder. Ah! The Lord of Scissors screamed in pain. Consecutive critical strikes. He was already crippled, and with the soul evil fire's injuries, the Een Snake's poison on his body burned crazily, and the amount of blood on his head was also crazily decreasing. Pain. Incomparable pain. Just for a moment. With just that little bit of chance, Long Fei had grabbed onto that little bit of opportunity, and he was like a violent punch. He would definitely not give you any chance to retaliate. Looking at the amount of blood on top of Lord of Scissors' head, Long Fei descended from the sky, stepped on Lord of Scissors' face, and shouted sinisterly, "Isn't this great?" He was utterly enraged. The war pet that oppressed him? It even had an expression of contempt, which really annoyed Long Fei. Blood spurted out of Lord of Scissors' mouth as he panted heavily and said, "You dog, you think you can kill me? You think?" He still had an arrogant and domineering expression on his face. However, in that instant, his heart turned cold, seeing Long Fei suddenly take a step back. Holding the dragon salyer with both hands, he slashed down. No, don't. Long Fei laughed sinisterly. If I can't kill you, who will? Then open your dog eyes and see. The wrath of the dragon god. Kill. Chapter 4. After staying up all night, his eyes could no longer make out the words on the computer. It was not because he had forgotten the chapter names, but because he had written the wrong numbers and the wrong words. Hayam was sorry. His eyes were going to go blind. Table of contents 8_8419/2356776. Roar! Roar! A dragon's roar rang out. All of Long Fei's strength was poured into it. All of the power in his arms were trembling. Linked to the dragon's salure, the idea moved. Dark dragon god, release your power. A blade slashed down on Lord of Scissors' neck. It was also at this time. The dark dragon blade on the dragon salure swallowed it. Rumble! A loud sound echoed out in the sky as the saber descended. Crack! Lord of Scissors' body split into two, his head rolling down to Long Fei's feet. Long Fei stepped on it and bellowed, "Can I kill you or not? Will we be able to kill him?" F***CK. The anger in his heart made Long Fei unable to resist swearing. His right foot suddenly exerted force, and with a kick, he broke Lord of Scissors' head. "Is this great? Awesome!" Long Fei laughed sinisterly, then lightly tilted his head upwards and closed his eyes slightly. His lips curled into a smile, and he said quietly, "Come, explode for me. Release the striking energy value." Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Lord of Scissors for obtaining 1 experience, 1 spiritual force, and 1 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Scissor King Bloodvein. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining the power of lifesteal. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Heaven's End Scissor. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Hell's Armor. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a special reward for defeating Lord of Scissors. Reward: level +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level: War Master level 9. The prompt ended. Long Fei laughed wildly in excitement. War Master level 9, War Master level 9. It's really level 1, huh? If I pass the 18th level of Hell, I will soon become a Wargod's Peak realm. Haha! Hong Tianjun, if you are faster, then I am faster. Just you wait. These 2 years, the words Hong Tianjun pressed down on his heart like 100,000 mountains. It was extremely uncomfortable. The number 1 genius of the South Horizon region must have trained very quickly. With the support of all the cultivation resources of the Heaven Sect, Hong Tianjun was definitely going to break through soon. But no matter how fast you are, how can you be faster than me? Level 1. Wait until this daddy breaks out of hell. Then I won't have to wait for 3 years. I'll kill you when I get out. Long Fei's face was filled with excitement. Killing the City Lord would give him a special reward. Killing the Lord of Scissors would increase another level. Then, without question, there would still be 16 levels left, and he would be able to level up to level 16. That is not the most important thing. The most important thing was breaking through the 18th level of Hell. It would be the King of Hell's turn next. What level's the reward for killing him? Long Fei was filled with incomparable anticipation. If it was the War King, that would be fun. Long Fei moved her body and said, "Ancestor, you can eat any holy artifact you want. You can eat whatever I drop. I don't want anything. But there is one thing you must do. I want all the prisoners in the 18th floor of Hell to be taken out. I want the Long family's banner to fly to every corner of the South Horizon region." Yin Huang Ancestor was also extremely excited and said, "Brat, just you wait and see." He had the Heaven's End Scissor and the Hell Armor in his mouth, and he had absorbed the holy artifact power, causing his power to increase by another level. At this moment, his strength had truly activated the Kunlun Mirror and the Yellow Springs Summoning Seal. The young lord is powerful. The young lord is domineering. He's too damn handsome. How can he be this handsome alone? Young master, I want to give you a child. That extremely charming woman spoke in a charming and seductive voice, causing the surrounding villains to feel goosebumps all over their bodies. That sound was simply too life-threatening. However, another woman said, "You're already a few hundred years old. Are you even worthy of him? I've only been dead for 80 years. I'm young, so I can give birth to a child for you, young master." Humph! You two women sure have the ability to compete with me. A man who looked like a demon walked out. Young master, my chrysanthemum. Without waiting for him to finish, he flew back with a slap from Long Fei. I'm not gay. I hate transvestites. The celebrity laid on the floor with a face full of enjoyment. Young master, please hit me again. You will ravage me. You will ravage me. Long Fei felt a wave of cold fear as he ran far away. Scissor City. It was the same as the Bite of China. There was a canyon that led to the third level, while the other two sides were filled with imprisoned felons. There weren't as many people as on the first floor. Their strengths were all war Emperor realm-esque, but they were even more insane. Long Fei's gaze swept across them as he directly asked, "Are you willing to follow me in overturning the 18th level of hell? Just one sentence. Are you willing or not?" Long Fei stood on his left and right, ice and fire, while hundreds of villains stood behind them, their faces filled with excitement. Seeing that Long Fei had all knelt down on one knee, those felons said in unison, "Greetings, young master. Greetings, young lord." The two voices sounded at the same time, echoing in Scissor City. With a move of the dragon salyer in Long Fei's hands, he severed the prison chains on both sides and said excitedly, "From now on, you are free." One by one, they walked out of the prison cell. All of them were incomparably excited. They had witnessed Long Fei's strength just now, and even the Lord of Scissors was being trampled on. His cultivation was not high, but to be able to do such a thing, they could not help but admire him. Ding! Increase in the number of members of the team. Increase in the number of members of the team. Long Fei laughed and said, "Objective, third floor. Come out." Just as Long Fei and the others were walking towards the entrance to the third floor, the sky spirit descended from the sky, closing its eyes and chanting. The runes on its body began to glow purplish black. Suddenly, the forehead of the sky spirit shook. Absorb! Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The evil spirits, evil chi, and baleful Yin force were all absorbed by his body. The seal he had obtained from the Yin Huang ancestor also began to tremble. With an icy smile, the man said, "Hell's 18th level, my heaven." Huh? King Yama's estate. Damn it. He had already informed the Lord of Scissors to not be careless, and to kill Long Fei no matter what. But the power that Long Fei had displayed was yet again shocking to him. Moreover, Long Fei's cultivation had continuously made breakthroughs from the very beginning. He was only at the 5th level of War Master to the current 9th. Long Fei was second. The thing that worried Yama King the most was the Sky Spirit. He was extremely careful, but he had still calculated incorrectly. Sister-in-law, 1-/ plus health. Strongest upgrade system. The 18th floor of Hell was a place with the densest and most evil energy in the underworld. If his body of evil grew up again, the consequences would be too scary. King Yama narrowed his eyes and muttered, "I want to enter the 18th level of Hell." The King of Hell could no longer hold himself back. The 5th chapter was sent over. Thank you for your support. Thank you. 8_8419/2356777. Iron Tree City Lord, give me your chrysanthemum. Iron Tree City Lord, give me your chrysanthemum. Air. No, give up your life. Long Fei was drenched in blood. His face twisted as he slashed the dragon salyer in his hand. The wrath of the dragon god. Kill. Boom. The dragon salyer was enraged, and the power of the dark dragon god erupted as it beheaded the city lord of Iron Tree City with one slash. No. The city lord of Iron Tree City let out a mournful scream. Next, the head rolled to Long Fei's feet, and Long Fei stomped on it until it exploded. Release your striking attribute. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing City Lord of Iron Tree City, for obtaining 1 experience point, true chi point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Iron Tree King Bloodvein. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Iron Tree King's power. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Steel God Hammer. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing City Lord of Iron Tree for obtaining a special reward, level +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Emperor level 1. Huff! The aura emitted from Long Fei's body suddenly changed and became especially intense. The power of the War Emperor realm crazily surged into his body, into his limbs, meridians, acupuncture points, and his internal organs. The defense of his physical body was also transforming crazily. The change in his body made Long Fei feel incomparable pleasure. He closed his eyes slightly and let out an excited roar in his heart. This is the War Emperor realm, huh? Awesome. So cool. The power of the War Emperor realm was completely different from the War Master realm. It was as though a small stream had suddenly converged into a river, and that kind of shocking feeling made Long Fei extremely excited. The young lord has broken through. Breaking through to the young lord in the infernal realm can be considered to be the best in all of history. The young lord is powerful and domineering. Haha, it's getting more and more fun. Long Fei was also very excited when he broke through to the prisoner level. The total number of prisoners in the third level of hell had already reached 1,500. The lowest cultivation level was War Emperor level 1. The highest cultivation level possible had reached War Emperor level 6. Moreover, this was only the first 3 levels. If this continued, his team would become crazily strong. Long Fei's gaze moved slightly as he shouted, "Target, 4th level! Come out!" A large group of people followed Long Fei and entered the 4th level. In another place, the 10th level of the Infernal Realm, the Pit of Ox, there was only one prison, and it held a prisoner. In the true sense, it was extremely fierce and cruel. The prisoner was surrounded by a demonic aura, and his body was exuding a strong killing intent. Even with his eyes closed, his killing intent was dense, and even evil spirits did not dare to approach him. Because of fear, the aura of a Yama King condensed into a shadow and landed beside that person. He coldly said, "As long as you help me kill him, I will give you what you want." That person did not open his eyes as the corner of his mouth curled up. He revealed a sneer and said, "Why should I believe you? Is there anyone more sinister than you in the underworld?" A strand of aura entered his body and said, "It's just the power of the true chi. Your true chi will quickly recover. In that case, you should trust me." A strand of chi entered his body. That person's eyes suddenly opened wide, and the entire prison began to shake. A burst of strange laughter came from his throat. "Ha ha!" King Yenluo slightly said, "I can let you live, but I can also let you die. Your fate is in my hands. Obediently listen to me. You can obtain everything you want." Not waiting for King Yama to finish, that person suddenly stood up. His eyes were filled with anger, and 3 black flames burst out from his body and rushed out. Scram! Boom! The shadow of the Yama King was immediately extinguished by his flames. King Yenluo did not appear again, nor did he recall the true chi from within his body. In King Yama's mansion, Oxhead asked cautiously, "Sir, can he really help us?" King Yenluo smiled and said, "Don't worry, he will definitely help us." Horseface also said, "This demon dweller is extremely powerful. If he doesn't kill Long Fei and instead goes with him, then the 18th floor of hell." King Yama's eyes narrowed slightly, and he sneered, "I can let him live, and I can also let him die. He knows very well that I am heaven and earth in this ghost city of the underworld, and I am the ruler. There is no benefit in offending me." If Long Fei was a ghost, if the Sky Spirit was also a ghost, Yama Minamiya would have been able to suppress the 2 of them with a lot of effort. Humans had an inexhaustible lifespan, so he didn't care. Living people had their own laws of living people, and this kind of power was something that a mere ghost guard like him could not hope to match. Not human, not ghost, even more so. Long Fei, let's see if you can reach the 10th floor. King Yama smiled. After the 10th floor, the Yama King was slightly worried. The experts after the 10th level were all extremely terrifying existences, and he had no way of controlling them. Moreover, there were people from the Long family on the 10th floor and below. The abnormal old monsters from the Long family were among them. Once Long Fei gathered with him, the result would be. King Yinlua's heart tightened, and he thought to himself, "You dark demon, don't let me down. Die, rumble." The evil Mirror City Lord had been killed. Long Fei leveled up again. War Emperor level 2. Another burst of blood vein and power, and it was another holy artifact. He had used a striking attribute too often, so he couldn't drop many good stuff, but Long Fei wasn't greedy either. He would use a striking attribute whenever it was a boss. He knew that the Yin Huang ancestor needed a lot of energy from the holy artifact. He was still hoping for Qin Wentian to bring these vicious people out and trample the entire celestial sect of wonders without a care in the world. The 5th floor. Boom. All the way through. All the way until he went berserk. 6th level. War Emperor level 4. The 7th level. Level 5. The 8th floor. Looking at the boss of the 9th floor, the city lord, Long Fei waved his hands. The madmen behind him all rushed forward like madmen. Oilpot City Lord. Attribute is fire. Water-style attacks can deal multiple times the damage. Young Master. Use water to attack. Young Master, there's no need to worry. First, I'll refine a formation, the 10,000 water array. Let him enjoy himself inside. With so many talents, there are all kinds of occupations. A few hours later, faintly smiled and said, "The more people there are, the stronger he will be." What he has said is not false at all. It's my turn. Boom. Level 7 War Emperor. Open. 36-0 search. Half floating // equals 3 rate peerless technique. Open. Heart Sutra. Open. Long Fei activated all his strength and dragged his dragon Salyer as he rushed forward. "You're the owner of Oil Cauldron City, right?" Kneel down obediently and sing Conquest. 1. 8_8419/2356778. The current Long Fei was completely different from the one on the first floor. The beginning was only War Master level 7. Now, he was already a level 7 War Emperor, and his strength was already far, far greater than before. Furthermore, the cultivation levels of these underworld city masters were also War Emperor realm-s. Although he was strong, Long Fei was even more arrogant and tyrannical. "I won't give you a chance to turn the situation around. Explode for me." Boom! 10 minutes later, the Oil Pot City Master was swaying. His huge body had finally collapsed. As usual, Long Fei beheaded him with one slash. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Oil Pot City Master for obtaining 1 experience point, true chi point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Oil Pot King Blood Vein. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Oil Pan King's Mystic Might. Do you wish to fuse it? Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Fire Shield. Congratulations, player. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Oil Pot City Lord for obtaining a special reward, level +1. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Emperor level 8. I leveled up again. Haha! Long Fei could not hold back his excitement. War Emperor level 8. It's really level 1. Since they're still level 9, that means I can still level up to level 9. And the King of Hell. Maybe I can step into the War King realm. War King. Hong Tianjun. When the time comes, do you have the qualifications to compete with me? Long Fei did not believe it. If Hong Tianjun was able to break through into the War King, then he would really be hanging by a thread. Young Master, the prisoners on this floor have been released. There are only 5 of them. All of them are level 8 War Emperor experts. Lang Qinli walked to Long Fei's side and said respectfully. Long Fei looked at the 5 of them and asked, Are you willing to go with me? The 5 of them did not answer immediately. One of them asked, Why would I be with you? Long Fei said, Overturn the 18 levels of hell. That person continued to ask, You want to enter the 10th level? Long Fei replied, Yes, to overturn the 18 levels of hell, I naturally have to continue. That person looked at Long Fei seriously for half a minute. Then, he turned around and returned to his cell, saying, Thank you for your good intentions. Although I'm a ghost, at least I'm still a ghost. The other 4 went back to the prison. One of them said to the person beside Long Fei, From the 10th floor onwards, the people being held are different. The strength of the city lord is also different. Overturn the 18th level of hell? Her. He really thinks of himself as a savior. Do you think you're invincible just because you killed a few city lords? Brat, you're still too young. Look back. Those city lords you killed have been resurrected. No one can escape from the 18 levels of hell, even if it's Long Quantian. He can only obediently stay here. It's just a joke. That person walked back to the prison with a look of contempt. In his opinion, Long Fei and the others were just going to die. Lang Qinli was instantly displeased and said, You don't have any seed in you. You deserve to be stuck in a wok of oil for your entire life. Exactly. They probably felt great in the frying pan, as the frying pan blew up their list. From the 1st level onwards, who can kill our young chieftain? The strength of the underworld city lord is different. As long as the people we, the young master, kill, none of them are still alive. The crowd of villains clamored. It was because he was displeased with what he had said just now. One of them said, Young chieftain, these people do not know how to appreciate favors. How dare they speak to you in such a manner and kill him? Long Fei smiled as he looked at the 5 of them. Tell the truth. Long Fei really didn't think that there would be someone who wasn't willing to be with him, that would suffer in hell for 100 years, or even 1,000 years, who wouldn't want to be free. But they didn't. It wasn't that they didn't want to. Rather, they were well aware that the danger of the 10th floor was something they couldn't handle. Going down, there would only result in their deaths. Long Fei muttered in his heart, How terrifying is the 10th floor exactly? I don't care how terrifying it is. There is no way out now that we have reached this point. No matter how terrifying it is, I will still take care of him. Humph! Long Fei looked at the 5 and gave a cold laugh. Why kill the 5 pitiful bugs? They do not have any dreams as human beings, and it's the same as being a ghost. If they like to suffer in hell, then let them be. To the 10th floor. Long Fei's dragon Salyer shook and said, Out! There was no retreat. Half of them were already gone, and the remaining half had to be endured even if Long Fei had to grit his teeth. He had to endure it. He still had unfinished business in the underworld. Not long after Long Fei left, the celestial spirit was floating in the air. Power of a dosed. Inhale. The sky spirit's gaze darkened as it sucked in all of the dead spirits and baleful force in its body. Finally, it landed in front of the 5 prisoners. Those 5 people were extremely scared. They immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed as they pleaded for mercy. The sky spirit let out a sinister smile. With a flick of his fingers, a wave of energy lifted the 5 of them into the air. He said sinisterly, Are you even worthy of being ghosts? Crack, crack. With his head severed, he was instantly killed. The sky spirit inhaled abruptly, absorbing all the yin qi contained in their bodies, and said scornfully, You don't even have the right to be ghosts. And then, the sky spirit turned into a cloud of purple-black qi and charged into the 10th floor. The 10th floor, Ox Pit Hell. It was as literally explained. Huge craters were everywhere, and the craters were like the footprints of a cow. From the moment Long Fei entered the 10th floor, he felt that something was wrong with his anger. Young chieftain, there are defenses in front of us in the infernal realm, but there's no one here. Not only that, have you guys noticed the strong smell of blood? What's the situation? Didn't you say that the 10th floor is even more dangerous? This is called danger? Confusion. However, Long Fei had a bad feeling about this. Suddenly, A person who had cultivated in the listening skill suddenly said, "Young lord, there's a fight in front." Long Fei moved, immediately sitting on the back of the ice and fire, and instantly dived out. I've said it before, once I recover my true chi, you'll be dead. The dark demon's voice was low, and his expression was extremely fierce. The dark demon flames surrounding these three skulls were much more intense than at the beginning. The city lord's gaze tightened as his body swayed. Demon of the dark world, aren't you afraid that King Yama will squash you to death? Ha! Kneel me to death. The dark demon laughed wildly and said, "Before you pinch me to death, I will pinch you to death as well." 2. 8_8419/2356779. Boom! Boom! The dark arrogance on his body moved, and a monstrous dark energy came crushing down from the sky. The three energies directly charged into the body of the city lord. Boom! Boom! The city lord of Ox's body exploded. In that moment, Long Fei arrived. Seeing that the city lord of Neo Pit had fallen, he shouted, "Don't! Experience! Level, my experience, my level." Long Fei went completely crazy. To him, the city lord of Neo Pit was just a level 1 EXP. Right now, he needed 500 million EXP to level up. So where could he go to obtain that 500 million EXP? It was impossible. Seeing that the city master of Chaos City had been killed, Long Fei had the urge to die. He used all his strength to rush into the deep pit and threw a few punches at the city lord, but it was useless. The city lord of Bull's pit was already dead. Dark Demon coldly looked at Long Fei and said coldly, "Who are you?" Long Fei was incomparably furious as he turned around and cursed. "Who the fuck are you again? You're courting death." The Dark Devil was infuriated, and the darkness devil aura around his body rushed towards Xiang Long Fei. His eyes flashed with killing intent. Long Fei was not an easy target. The dragon's salure grabbed and slashed down. The dense chi on the dragon's salure surged as it swallowed the blood vein of the Hell's City Lord, causing the dragon's salure's profound spirit chi to increase by a lot. With the slash of a blade, the dark dragon god roared. Roar! The sword chi wreaked havoc, directly splitting the dark arrogance in half. They were completely shocked. The dark demon's expression turned into one of shock. The supreme artifact of the South Horizon region, dragon, slaying, and saber. Her voice paused for a moment, and her gaze became especially gloomy, staring at Long Fei with an incomparably dense killing intent. People from the Long family. I didn't expect to meet someone from the Long family again. Last time, thinking about the last time, which was tens of thousands of years ago, his body trembled. Looking at Long Fei, and then looking at that dragon salure, he suddenly started to laugh wildly. Now I know. After laughing like crazy, the killing intent in his body completely disappeared, and the dark demonic energy surrounding him also slowly calmed down. The dark demon laughed in his heart, and said in his heart, "King of Hell, now I know why you want me to kill him. Are you also afraid of the people from Long family? You're scared too. Long Quang Tian. Ha ha ha. Interesting, extremely interesting. Ha ha ha." He was laughing inside. Long Fei looked at the dark demon and asked, "What are you laughing at?" Dark demon looked at Long Fei and asked, "Did you charge into hell to save your Long family's ancestors?" Long Fei was startled. Dark demon looked at Long Fei's shocked expression and said, "Could it be that it's not?" He did not know that Long Fei had been sent flying into hell by the King of Hell, who wanted to use the devouring power of the 18th level of hell to refine both Long Fei and the heavenly spirit. Once their true chi was refined, they would be nothing but trash. However, how could King Yama think of a system in Long Fei's body? As long as he was killed by the monsters, his true chi would never run dry. As for his sky spirit, that was an even more abnormal existence. King Yama was wrong. Long Fei said, "So what? So what if it isn't?" The dark demon laughed. "If so, I can give you a hand. If that's not the case." The dark demon's smile turned cold and hideous. He said coldly, "Then I will take your life." The dark dwellers wanted to kill him. From the very beginning, Long Fei had already sensed it. Moreover, he was very strong, enough to easily kill the city lord of Neopai City was enough to prove that he was very strong. But why didn't he kill himself after he saved Long Quantian? Long Fei asked why. The dark demon laughed and said, "Because if I want to leave, I'm afraid only Long Quantian can accomplish that in the entire infernal realm." That's not right. Previously, Long Quantian couldn't do it, but the dark demon stared at the dragon salyer in Long Fei's hands and said excitedly, "With the dragon salyer, he can do it." Huh? Long Fei was secretly shocked. Long Quantian, is he the ancestor of the Long family? Which generation's patriarch is he? Long Fei flipped through the Long family's family tree. However, he only knew the first-generation patriarch of Long family tens of thousands of years ago. As for the names of the hundreds of generations of patriarchs that came later, they were not recorded in the genealogy book. The clan tree preserved by the Long family had been recorded from 500 generations ago. As for what happened to the Long family that lasted for 510,000 years, no record. When he was flipping through the family tree, he was puzzled. He thought he had lost it, but only after asking his grandfather did he find out that the genealogy was recorded from the 50th generation, and none of the previous ones were recorded. As for the reason, he wasn't sure either. No one in the Long family knew. Long Quantian? This name sounds a little familiar. Long Fei muttered in his heart, looked at the demons and asked, "Which floor is my ancestor at?" Dark Demon laughed. "The 18th floor. People like him are naturally locked up on the 18th floor. Otherwise, do you think there's any place you can hold him?" The dark demon was crazy. Even Yama Minamiya didn't pay attention to him, but when it came to Long Quantian, his eyes were filled with respect, that kind of respect from the bottom of his heart. Long Fei's heart trembled. How strong is Long family's ancestor? Does he know more secrets about the Long family? Long family is truly too mysterious. More and more, he felt that the Long family was too mysterious. The cultivation of the Dark Demon King was extremely close to the War God realm. So what realm did Long Quantian in the last level reach? Or king? When did the Long family have such an expert? Why had it never been recorded? There were too many secrets in everything. Huff! Long Fei said, "You want to go with me?" The dark demon laughed out loud and said, "Seems like you really are here to save Long Quantian. Since that's the case, I'm willing to go with you." "All right. However, I have a condition." Long Fei did not want to continue suffering from liver pain, and he did not want to lose one more level for nothing. "Tell me," Long Fei said, "you can only fight against the city lord of the next level. You can't kill him. If you kill him, leave it to me." The dark demon did not mind. "No problem. As long as I can meet Long Quantian again, there won't be a problem with anything else." His expression was like that of a brainless fan. She was too infatuated with Long Quantian. As for why he was infatuated, Long Fei did not know. "Young master, are you all right?" Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, a large amount of people who had fallen into the deep pit could only tremble inwardly when they saw the miserable deaths of all the evil spirits from the pit. The dark demon looked at these people, then looked at Long Fei, and said to himself, "He should be the one King Yama asked me to kill, right? Ha ha! What a pity. Table of contents, he doesn't know anything about my relationship with the Long family." Towards the dark demon, Long Fei was also on guard. In the 10th level of hell, Long Fei did not manage to earn a single bit of true chi. Long Fei waved his arms and said, "The next level, Stone Pressure Hell. 3 chapters, 8_8419/2356780. With the addition of the Dark Demon, Long Fei's team became even more unstoppable. With the addition of the Dark Demon, Long Fei's team became even more unstoppable. The 11th floor. It was a stone that was crushing the infernal realm. Long Fei said, "Let them experience what a one-wave rush is." Rumble, rumble. It was like a bulldozer crushing everything in its path. Dark Demon, Just hit him until he's half crippled. Understood. His body was like a mass of black fog, rushing towards the mayor. The three masses of black fog surrounded the mayor. In that instant, boom, an explosion. Half of the HP directly exploded above the mayor's head. The damage just now had caused around 30 million damage. This damage was simply, Long Fei's scalp was a little numb. At the same time, Long Fei rushed forward quickly, releasing all the power of War Emperor level 8, releasing all of his 3-rate Peerless Technique, all of his Heart Sutra. The dragon salyer in his hands swung down wildly, facing the heavily injured Rock Pressure City leader's blade attack. 170% of his 100,000 points. Compared to the damage of the Dark Demon, it was negligible. The disparity was too great. The Dark Demon gave Long Fei the feeling that his cultivation was not strong. But how could his strength cause such a fatal injury? Long Fei slashed down. Shiryu was enraged. You juniors actually dare to act so arrogantly in front of me, Dai? The huge boulder fell from the sky and smashed towards Xiang Longfei. The Dark Demon sneered. You still dare to be so arrogant? Boom! The devil fire on his body moved again, and once again engulfed the mayor. The amount of blood on the head of the city lord was 0. Yi Zichen's body exploded as well, and the black mist that rushed into his body jumped out crazily, returning to the body of the Dark Demon God. This power was simply, it was truly peerless. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for slaying City Master Shiryu for obtaining 1 experience point, True Chi point, and Energy Values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Rock Pressure City Lord. Rewards, level +1. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Emperor level 9. As long as Long Fei dealt damage before, no matter who killed him, he would gain experience and get the items to drop. This was also considered part of the system. If he did any damage, the killer would be deemed to have killed him. Dark Demon sneered and said, not even a single blow. Long Fei looked at him, at the 3 black colored flames on his body, and could not help but ask, what kind of energy do you cultivate? Dark Demon looked at Long Fei and asked, you're very strong, right? The Dark Demon was arrogant and proud. However, he had the capital to be arrogant. Long Fei had to admit, very strong. Ha! Ha ha! The Dark Demon laughed out wildly. The people from Long family actually said that I'm very strong. Huh. Incomparable excitement. As if he had obtained some satisfaction. In his eyes, the most abnormal family in the world belonged to the Long family, and he revered them. Long Fei praised him because he felt joy from the bottom of his heart. As soon as he finished laughing, he said to himself, but in front of Long Quangtian, my strength is like an ant, unable to withstand a single blow. Boom! A bolt of lightning struck down in Long Fei's mind, causing him to be extremely shocked. An existence that can cause tens of millions of damage at once is simply an existence that can explode on the surface. Who can block it? But an existence just like an ant. Dark Demon laughed. Do you still think it's very strong? Little guy, the truly strong ones are the perverts from your Long family, but looking at you, I should be able to guess that the dragon blood activation in your body is extremely weak. The dragon salyer in your hands is the same. Not even the slightest bit of the might of a martial saint. If it hasn't even fused with a low-level item like the heart of ancient fairy tree, the power of the blade. Too weak, Dark Demon said bluntly. How mighty and tyrannical was the previous Long family. Long Fei was indeed very fierce, and although he had been slaughtered all the way down, his strength was still far away when compared to the ancestors of the Long family. Especially Dragon Salyer S. They simply could not use the slightest bit of their strength. This was the difference. Long Fei's heart tensed up. He was shocked. He thought he was very strong, and the Dragon Salyer was also very strong. But in the eyes of the Dark Demon, it seemed like it couldn't withstand a single blow. Extremely weak. The Dark Demon looked at Long Fei and said, when you meet your ancestors, He will tell you just how strong the Long family used to be. Ha! How strong is the Long family? How strong is Long Quantian of the 18th level of the 18 Hells? Long Fei's heart was filled with questions, and at the same time, he thought to himself, how strong is it exactly? At this moment, Dark Demon landed in front of a prison and smiled. Lunatic, aren't you going to come out and play? The Dark Demon idea moved. The skinny old man in the prison opened his eyes slightly, took a glance at the Dark Demon, and looked at Xian Longfei at the same time. Dark Demon said, "This is the kid from Long family." The old man looked at Long Fei again before he stood up slowly, as if he had not moved for hundreds of years. When he stood up, the bones in his body creaked and creaked. The kid from Long family. Sure, I've also not seen Long Quantian for a long time. I'll consider it as me playing around with you guys. Long Fei looked at the skinny old man, whose sharp eyes could penetrate into his mind and look like a candle in the wind. However, Long Fei felt that once he obtained the true qi, it would mean that he had lost his mind. He might be the one that was killed in an instant. Yan Huang Ancestor also slightly said, "This person is not simple. Don't worry, even if he and that Dark Demon guy work together, they still won't be able to kill you. Because I'm here." Yan Huang Ancestor's aura was incomparably arrogant. Since this was the Sky Martial Continent, no matter how powerful the Yan Huang Ancestors were, they would not put this place in their eyes. Continue. 12th floor. Long Fei only slashed once. And then, the Lord of Chun Wu was killed. The aura on Long Fei's body changed once again. A powerful war god's power poured into his body. His strength underwent a further transformation. This time, Dark Demon and Skinny Elder were both shocked for a moment. But it was only for a moment. Long Fei was not as excited as he was initially, but he secretly said that, "Hong Tianjun, what is your cultivation level now, War God Realm?" The power of the War God Realm. Long Fei felt a movement between his brows, sensing it a little. Huff! Powerful! At this moment, another old man joined the party. He looked at Long Fei seriously, and then revealed a wild laughter. Interesting. Looks like we can really meet Long Quantian again. They were very interested in Long Quantian. He didn't know why. Long Fei had a kind of bad premonition in his heart. This kind of premonition started from the 10th level of hell, and also started from the kind of strength that came from the Dark Demon's body. Every single one of them was an incomparably powerful expert. Their attacks could deal millions of critical hits. Too terrifying. Floating life. No windows. A plus moreover. The most important thing was that when the Dark Demons started, the true qi on their bodies kept churning, and there were no signs of them being refined at all. They were helpers? Or was he King Yama's killer? For chapters 8_8419/2356783. HTML.com. Whether it was a helper or a killer, Long Fei only knew one thing. Whether it was a helper or a killer, Long Fei only knew one thing. He wanted experience. He wanted to level up. From the 11th layer onwards, the strength of the city lords kept on increasing. It was impossible for him to accomplish this with just his strength alone. He would probably need too much time to break through to the 18th level. With these powerful people as henchmen, Long Fei naturally wanted to make good use of them. Boom! The Lord of the 13th floor was killed again. This time, Long Fei was the first to attack, and only punched out. It only dealt 29 foot a few damage, and was then killed by the Dark Lord and the others. Long Fei's level increased again. On this floor, another monstrous expert had joined the fray. Continue. Long Fei didn't care so much. The 14th floor, the 15th floor, the 16th floor, all the way to the 17th floor. Every single level was extremely easy, and the people who followed Long Fei did not even have a chance to make a move. Once they entered, they would immediately be struck down and killed in just a few minutes. Every time he killed a city lord, Long Fei would take the initiative to kill him. Each level would have an additional strange expert. Perhaps it was a demon or the master of a sect that had disappeared for 10,000 years. However, They all had two things in common. They were from the South Horizon region. Secondly, they all wanted to reach Long Quangtian. After killing the mayor of the 17th floor, Long Fei's level increased to the level of a level 6 warlord, which made leveling up to be like riding on a rocket. Long Fei roared out in his heart, "Fuck, I'm only asking one question. Who else is there?" 18 years old, war god level 6. Just by asking, who else could it be? Who could do it? Han Tianjun, you're about to be stomped out of the SHXD by me. Long Fei became even more excited. At this moment, 7 old freaks stood on the 17th floor's prison cell with a strange look in their eyes. The dark demon took the lead and said, "Sir, it's time to come out of seclusion." A middle-aged man, dressed in white and spotless. He looked like a scholar. He seemed to be the cleanest person in the prison, as well as the most normal person. The man turned his body slightly. Long Fei looked over. It was also at this time. The man was also looking at Long Fei. The moment their 4 eyes met, the Yin Huang ancestor was shocked. She released a stream of power of Emperor Yin Huang to protect Long Fei's state of mind, and said, "Demon Eye." Long Fei's body trembled slightly and was almost crushed into powder by the power of this gaze. It was extremely uncomfortable. At that moment, Long Fei almost felt like he was going to die. Long Fei was also extremely anxious in his heart. What kind of power is this? Yin Huang ancestor said, "This middle-aged scholar should be a supreme demi-human. His pair of demonic eyes can release destructive power. If I had been even half a second later, I'm afraid that you..." He did not continue. How can a demon lord appear in the weakest of the 5 domains of the Tianwu continent, the southern domain? That's impossible. The middle-aged scholar smiled. Long family people are indeed long family people. The power of the demon, I was actually easily blocked by them. Dark Demon and the other 6 were shocked. They all looked at Xiang Longfei at the same time. The power of the demon, I, was extremely strong. It had the power of the elements of destruction, and was a unique technique of the supreme demon clan, Itiancho. However, but Long Fei blocked it. They couldn't help but be shocked. From the beginning, the dark demon god had never placed Long Fei in his eyes. Even until a moment ago, he still did not place Long Fei in his eyes, but now. His heart clenched. The middle-aged scholar walked towards the door. The moment his body touched the door, the chains and iron pillars on the door immediately turned into fine powder. The metal pillar began to rot and turn into powder. It was as if he was crushing everything in his path. This power, it made Long Fei's scalp go numb, but he was also secretly excited. Even at this moment, he desperately wished that these players were all bosses. He wanted to kill them all and obtain the unparalleled strength from their bodies. Xiao Bai sent a sound transmission to him. "Master, Supreme Demon Race, his power is very strong. If you want to fight, do not ever touch his body. Do remember." As he spoke, it was as if he could not hold on any longer and directly entered Long Fei's war pet space without waiting for Long Fei's control. It was the same with fire and ice. He couldn't withstand the power emitted from the middle-aged man's body. Lang Chinli and the rest were even more so. He couldn't bear it. If not for the power of the Yin Huang ancestor, Long Fei would not have been able to endure it. That kind of mental impact was something he had never felt before, and it was stronger than any kind of pressure crushing down. The middle-aged man walked to Long Fei's side. "The people from the Long family are truly extraordinary. Haha, he's not even 20 years old yet, and is at the 6th level of the War God realm. He could probably be counted as the #1 genius in the history of the Long family." However, the middle-aged man's mouth turned cold and revealed a devilish sneer. 6th level of the War God level, weak to the point of being a complete mess. When he was speaking, Long Fei was almost unable to move. Yin Huang ancestor slightly said, "Do you want to kill him? I have an idea. If I absorb the power of the holy artifact during this period of time, I can directly blast him to death." Yin Huang ancestor was a little unhappy. Hearing the ancestor's words, Long Fei laughed coldly and said, "It's true that I'm not strong enough when compared to the ancestors of the Long family. But you all, I don't think he's that strong either. If you were strong enough, you wouldn't have died. If my guess is not wrong, all 8 of you were killed by my Long family's ancestors, right? Long Fei laughed coldly. If that's the case, then all of you are really weak to the point of exploding. Compete in arrogance? Compete in posturing? Long Fei was definitely not weaker than anyone. The dark demon's forehead tightened as he said in a deep voice, impudent. Long Fei's eyes turned as he stared at the dark demon and said, I'm being presumptuous. What do I have to say? The fiend god was enraged. A vigorous energy burst forth as he took a step forward. 3 dark arrogance rolled out of his body and rushed towards Long Fei. Long Fei sneered and said, Do you think that your 3 dark arrogance are very strong? Leaving these 3 streams of flames, your body should be nothing more than a pile of shit, right? Long Fei moved. He had not done anything along the way. Every time they made a move, he would carefully study it and observe it clearly. The dark demon left the 3 dark arrogance. His physical body's defense was extremely weak. The dark demon's face sank. The expressions of the others also changed. At this moment, with a slight movement, a surge of energy pushed them away. He smiled coldly and said, Now is not the time to fight. Kid, go down to the 18th floor. Long Quangtian is still waiting for us. He can wait. I can't wait. In another place, in the palace of the King of Hell, the King of Hell revealed an excited smile. The show is about to begin. Chapter 5. Thank you for your support. 8_8419/2356785. HTML.com. Not only did Yama King look for the dark demon imprisoned in the 10th level of hell. Not only did Yama King look for the dark demon imprisoned in the 10th level of hell, he also looked for people on the 11th to 17th floors. Amongst the 8 of them, the Dark Demon King was the weakest. The Demon Sovereign Etiancho on the 17th floor was the strongest amongst the experts, the strongest amongst the strong. Oxhead asked, Master, what are your conditions for agreeing to them? Is it possible for a supreme being of the demi-humans to work for you? Horseface also wanted to know, so he asked, These 8 people are not that simple. If any of them were to escape, they would bring disaster upon the underworld. King Yinluo grinned and said, City Lord of Hell. Oxhead and Horseface were startled at the same time. They finally understood why they were allowed to kill Hell's city's lord. It seemed like all of this had long been arranged beforehand. Actually, this was secondary. What was important was something else. The deaths of these 8 people all came from a common point. They had all died in Long Quangtian's hands. They hated Long Quangtian of the 18th floor with all their hearts. So, the good show began. Lang Qianli quickly unlocked the seal at the entrance, and just as he was about to step in, Dark Demon coldly said, Wait. Etiancho stared at Long Fei and said, Hand your dragon, Salyer, over. Long Fei frowned. Etiancho laughed. You don't have to either. Before he finished his sentence, he suddenly lifted the 5 of them into the air. The power he released was too strong. Without waiting for Long Fei to speak, crack, cut, their heads broke, their bodies withered, and in the end, they looked like iron rust shedding off their bodies. They slowly turned into dust. Not even their bones were left behind. Young Lord, don't hand it over. We've already died once. What's there to be afraid of? Yes, for us to be able to make it to the 17th floor, we've already lived enough. Young Master, following you is the most exciting day of my life. It's worth it. Everyone was extremely displeased with the arrogant attitude of Etiancho and the rest of the 8. Along the way, they only admired Long Fei. No matter how much power the Dark Demon King and the others released, they still admired Long Fei. Ouch. So loyal, Etiancho said coldly. Since that's the case, then all of you can go and die. A voice came from the Yin Huang ancestor, and Long Fei suddenly shouted, I surrender. Good girl. If I tell you to hand it over, then hand it over. How can there be a cowardly person like you in Long family? Dark Demon disdainfully said, his face full of pride. Long Fei handed the dragon Salyer over. Etiencho's expression was somewhat excited, and she said, faintly, "You're responsible for keeping the dark demon." "Yes, sir." Receiving the dragon Salyer, Dark Demon's expression became even more complacent. He stared at Long Fei and laughed. "Brat, you're really tactful. In the future you'll be as obedient as a dog. This way you can live longer." "What did you say? What are you being arrogant for?" "Young lord, fight it out with them." Long Fei being humiliated, they were very unhappy. Moreover, in order to protect them, Long Fei had handed over the supreme artifact, so their gratitude was incomparable. The dark demon laughed proudly and said, "You are just a motley crew? You're just a bunch of trash. You want to overturn the heavens in front of me? What a joke." Long Fei's voice also sunk as he said indifferently, "Everyone, don't be in such a rush. There will be a time." And then, Long Fei looked at Etiencho and asked, "Can you go down now?" Etiencho said indifferently, "Of course you can." Without the dragon Salyer, Long Quangtian is like a tiger with its teeth pulled out. It is useless now. Long Fei stepped into the 18th floor. The moment he stepped in, boom, thunder rumbled in his ears as his body suddenly sank. The War God level 6 almost couldn't withstand the backlash from level 18. It was also at this time. Ding! True Chi is worth 100 points. Ding! True Chi is worth 100 points. The consumption of true Chi suddenly doubled, 1,000 per second, 1 minute for 60,000, 1 hour for 360,000. His current true Chi only had 2 hours, and he could not even use cultivation techniques, otherwise his consumption would be even faster. This kind of place was simply impossible to recover from. Even if it was him, it would be extremely difficult. It wouldn't even take a day to be sucked dry in this place. Aside from the fact that the consumption of true Chi had doubled, the surrounding environment was also incomparably sinister. Whether it was rolling thunder, raging lightning, or howling winds and torrential rain, the cold wind was bone-piercing. It was as hot as a fire. All kinds of weather was constantly changing, making it difficult for people to adapt. Boom! Boom! Young master, the true Chi in our pubes was instantly blown up. Mine too. What exactly is the 18th level of hell? My pubes are all withering. This is too hard to bear. Lang Qianli and the others all had painful expressions. Without the support of the true Chi, they had to use their bodies to resist it. However, Etiencho and the rest, on the other hand, were not the least bit unwell. On the contrary, they did not have the slightest sign of losing their true Chi. Long Fei's heart trembled. King Yama. He felt extreme hatred in his heart. All of this must have been arranged by the King of Hell. Otherwise, it definitely wouldn't have happened like this. The moment Etiencho stepped into the 18th floor, his voice shook the heavens. Long Quangtian, come out and accept your death. As soon as his voice faded, Etiencho's eyes shone with a bright light. Like 2 searchlights, he released a 1,000-miles-long light and directly locked onto a person's figure. The man was wearing a flip-flop. He was wearing a tattered vest. The heads on his head had all been cut off, and the only heads that were left were those that were 30 to 70% off, looking very coquettish. His figure was somewhat ludicrous and obese. This one spoke. He was squatting in the pit, shitting. His entire appearance made Long Fei think of a person. Besides his looks, the appearance of the ultimate killer king, the evil god Hui Yun, was basically the same. A bad old man. He raised his eyes and said, "Do you like to see SH*T? Then you'll definitely like eating SH*T too?" Her voice was very calm. However, it rang out in everyone's minds. Long Fei's heart trembled. "This is Long Quangtian?" Etiencho laughed sinisterly. "Long Quangtian, I've already found you hiding in the 18th floor of hell. Today, I will make it so that you can't even be a ghost. Attack!" As soon as his voice faded, apart from him and the dark demon god, the other 6 people all rushed out. Rumble, rumble, rumble. A deafening sound shook the sky as 6 powerful attacks came crashing down. Equals semi / floating life plus Long Quantian almost did not move. The 6 attacks hit his body. His body was sunken and dislocated. There was a trickle of blood on his nose, and his eyes were swollen like a black panda's. However, as if he didn't feel any pain, he grinned and said, "Is that all you have?" Chapter 18_8419/2356787. HTML com. There was contempt in his voice. There was contempt in his voice. It seemed like a simple sentence, but it was filled with arrogance and the tempo of flying to the sky. 6 great experts. They were all war god peak realm, and they also trained in a unique ability. Their attack power could deal tens of millions of damage to those powerful Hell City Masters. However, but he was looked down upon by Long Quantian. "Is that all you have?" What a contemptuous remark. The 6 of them looked at each other, flipped their bodies, and once again increased their strength. Roar! A malevolent appeared out of nowhere, extremely ferocious. Roar! Roar! 5 ferocious demon beasts rushed out. They were demons. After cultivating for 10,000 years, Ancho had become a hero. This was the only time they had transformed into a demon in hell. Long Quantian, I want to see how arrogant you are. The demon beast was furious, and its power this time was more than 3 times that of the previous time. He used his full strength and struck again. The dark demon looked at Long Fei with a pleased smile. "Lame duck, look at your ancestors. They are about to become crippled." The former Long Quantian was so sharp now. Haha, just like a ghost old man. Entering the demonic body and tempering his demonic spiritual energy. What was the strongest thing about Demon Beast? This was their strongest point. When this kind of power smashed down, Long Fei's heart trembled. This is the power that can instantly kill the city lord of hell. It was also at this moment. He thought about his classic of the mountain and sea and thought to himself, "Can I train in the monsters that I create?" This kind of power made Long Fei excited. Long Quantian did not even look and extended his right hand to scratch his bald head. He straightened his head and muttered, "The types are all messed up. Finished." He raised his eyes and smiled faintly. "You guys used to have this kind of power. I didn't think that after so many years of training in hell, you guys would still have this kind of power. Weak. Here. Explode." As soon as he finished, boom, 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 Long Quantian's figure disappeared, and in the air, only the sound of 6 big mouths could be heard. Pa, pa, pa was extremely loud and clear. Then, bang, bang, 6 corpses fell from the sky like 6 dead flies. The moment the corpse fell onto the ground, Long Quantian slowly walked out step by step, and all the corpses fell behind him. This power, this speed, he was simply too domineering. Walking in front of Ancho, he spat on his palm, then lightly touched his head and stared at Ancho. "You have to be quick in killing. You have to be handsome." Too cool. Even Long Fei felt that he was not as good as her. Long Quantian smiled slightly. "Littleine, I didn't expect that even after so many years have passed, you would still bite me and not let me go." Ichincho's body was trembling, and he couldn't help but start trembling, and then he started laughing sinisterly. "Long Quantian, you massacred my spirit demon race and killed my father. How can I not avenge this?" As soon as he finished, the aura from Ichincho's body suddenly exploded. The 2 demon eyes moved, releasing the destructive force from the demon eyes. Just at this moment, "Pa!" A slap landed on his face. Long Quantian said, "Do you know why your father became blind? That's because I have used the demon eye too many times to destroy it, causing cataract and flash, plus color blindness. It was also because of this that I married such an ugly woman." Ancho is strong. The power of destruction was powerful. His palm flipped over. Long Fei was dumbstruck. The 1,000+ people behind him were also dumbfounded. The dark demon lowered his head, not daring to look into Long Quantian's eyes. Ancho was slapped to the ground. Blood hung from the corner of his mouth as he gritted his teeth and said, You are not allowed to insult my mother, ah? With a flick of his body, he flew up into the air. His attack had not yet landed. Ha! Another big slap sounded, and Cho was slapped yet again as he landed heavily on the ground. Long Quangtian crouched down and earnestly advised, "Little Lean, why do you have to go through so much trouble? You said that your father died by my hands. What power do you have to fight me? Don't be cocky. It's useless." What was being crushed? This was it, and it was an absolute crushing defeat. Long Fei could even feel that Long Quangtian using the true qi was pure power. This was a strong rancor among strong people. Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. The surrounding people were even more shocked. While they were still alive, the Long family had already weakened. He did not know that there was such a powerful existence like Long Quangtian. Seeing them today, it could be said that the Long family actually had such an incredible existence. What a complete mess. Itiancho's eyes flashed with stars. His two eyes stared straight at Long Quangtian, and his mouth kept releasing sinister laughter. Waha! Ahaha! Long Quangtian, I never thought that after all these years, your cultivation would be even higher. Good. Then let me show you our spirit demon race's power of taboos. Whoosh! Itiancho's body flickered and landed 1,000 meters away. A layer of taboo. Open for me. Boom! His body suddenly transformed, and the bones all over his body began to emit cracking sounds. His face also became extremely hideous, and the bones and flesh within his body bulged out one after another. The aura around his body also changed drastically. The second level. Open for me. Crack! Bang! Under his skin, the protruding bones pierced his skin one after another. Blood spurted out his wounds, and his body's strength had clearly doubled. At this moment, Long Quangtian's face secretly changed. God's bone taboo. Itiancho had grown many bones on his body, and every single one of them carried an extraordinary strength. His expression became especially ferocious, and he said while staring at Long Quangtian, "At least you have good eyes. I've succeeded in cultivating the power of God's bone taboo that even my father failed to do." Ha! Long Fei's heart was moved as he asked, "Ancestor, what do you mean by God's bone taboo?" The space between Yin Huang ancestor's eyebrows sunk and also trembled a little as he said, "Sky bone, as its name implies, is the bone of the sky. It contains the power of the heavens. Once it is opened, no matter where it is, he will be able to absorb the heavenly energy. Moreover, this is the strongest element energy. The reason it's called a taboo is because its destruction is too great. Equals half carat float hashtag life carat. Also, once he releases the power of God's bone taboo, his body will never be able to recover. It will always be like this. This is sky law." Long Fei's heart trembled. Then, the Yin Huang ancestor said slightly, "He has already reached the second layer. Your ancestor might." Itiancho laughed sinisterly, bellowed, and said, "Long Quangtian, go to hell." Chapter 28_8419/2356789. HTML com. Ryup. Itiancho took out a handful of bones from his body. The bones were filled with blood as he stared at Long Quangtian sinisterly. "Die. Wong." An aura came from his body and directly connected him to the sky. The power of the God's bone taboo was completely released. Move. He couldn't see her at all, not even her aura. It landed in front of Long Quangtian like it was changing forms. The bone spike in his hand swept out. Bam! Long Quangtian's expression tensed up. His reaction speed had already exceeded everything, and his right arm had already horizontally blocked the attack. The strength stripes exploded out. Long Quangtian's figure was also sent flying by the strong force of God's bone taboo, directly flying out 1,000 kilometers. Shwa! Itiancho's body disappeared once again, and after half a second of continuous time, an explosion sounded out in the sky. Long Quantian was blasted into the air. Boom! It hit the ground heavily. The hole in the ground formed a giant hole that was 100 meters wide. The hole in the ground looked like a spider web that was filled with cracks as Long Quantian fell down onto the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. Itiancho floated in the air and sneered sinisterly. In order to defeat you, I have been cultivating all this time. I have continuously attacked the God's Bone taboo and activated it, all so that I could kill you. Ha ha ha! Itiancho laughed crazily and said, Long Quantian, are you feeling good? Cough, cough, cough. Long Quantian coughed and muttered, the power of the God's Bone taboo is really strong. I can't even hold on for my old bones. Cough, cough, cough. While speaking, Long Quantian coughed a few times, looked at Itiancho, who was in the air laughing crazily, and said, it's not that great, but you'll feel great later on. Crack! His body also changed as a dragon roar came from inside him. Soon, dragon scales appeared on his body, and he shouted, Dragon transformation! Roar! The dragon roared, and in that 10% of a second, a sinister dragon head rushed out from its body and soared into the sky, biting Itiancho, and roared deeply. I will make you feel good about the heavens. A malevolent colossal dragon. The long dragon god with 4 claws, scales on his body, dragon whiskers, dragon heads, every part of his body was emitting an incomparable amount of dragon power. Dragon transformation. It's a secret technique unique to the Long family. The ancestors of the Long family had killed a dragon god, drank dragon's blood, refined a dragon blood vein. When they reach a certain realm in their cultivation, they could obtain the power of the dragon blood, and could even transform into a dragon. I always thought that this was a legend, but I never expected that it would be true. He transformed into a dragon. Oh God, this is the first time I've seen a dragon. The people behind Long Fei were completely shocked. Long Fei was the same, his heart trembling with excitement. Awesome. I didn't expect that it could really transform into a dragon. Haha. Long Fei was very excited. At that time, his grandfather only grew a few dragon scales, and his strength was a little stronger. He never thought that the ancestor of the Long family would actually be able to transform into such a huge dragon that could soar through the skies. Rumble. The sky darkened, and Tiancho's body sank. He coughed up blood. And then, now, I'll let you feel refreshed. Rumble. Long Quantian bit Tiancho as he struck down vertically, and the strong dragon's flames continuously bombarded towards Tiancho. God's Bone taboo? Do you know why your father doesn't train? That's because your father is too ugly. Bang, bang, bang. Tiancho constantly resisted, and the heavenly elements in his body also continuously counterattacked. He roared loudly, You are not allowed to insult my father. He was furious. However, his second floor's God's Bone taboo simply could not harm Long Quantian, who had turned into a dragon. He still belittled Long Quantian, as the people from the Long family were much stronger than he had imagined. However, the hatred in Tiancho's heart burned crazily. No matter what price he had to pay, he had to kill Long Quantian. Rumble. Tiancho was struck into the deep pit. The entire ground sunk, and the 18 levels of hell shook severely. It was incomparably powerful. Long Quantian floated in midair and coldly sneered. Littleine, now you feel great, huh? It must be very cool, right? Ha ha. Tiancho lay in the midst of the ruins, looking at the gigantic dragon in the sky. Flames of anger spouted out of his eyes. Sick. He felt extremely displeased. Tiancho let out a wild roar. King Yama. Crack. The sky darkened and a beam of power shot towards Tiancho's body like a beam of light. Finally, Tiancho's body suddenly inhaled. Whoosh! He directly absorbed all of the power within the light. Long Quantian glanced at the sky, then looked at Tiancho and said slightly, Why are you doing this? You're already very ugly. Why do you want to be even uglier? If you do this, you'll scare the girls. Even if the girls aren't afraid, it wouldn't be good to scare the flowers and plants. The light suddenly vanished. Itiancho's body was trembling with excitement, and he spoke sinisterly. Long Quan Tien, as long as I can kill you, I won't hesitate to pay my life even if it costs me. Wah-ha! You're very strong in the form of a dragon, aren't you? I'm stronger than you. Itiancho let out a crazy cry, and the aura on his body exploded. Third level of the forbidden technique, open. Crack. His body suddenly doubled in size, and the bones all over his body jutted out like spears. The longer the bone, the longer his strength. The more heavenly essence he absorbed, the faster he absorbed. Wah-ha! The voice that came out was no longer Itiancho's. It had completely changed. Long Quan Tien's face tensed up and cried out in his mind, "This is bad." The second layer of the forbidden technique was already his limit. Even if he could suppress them, he wouldn't be able to kill Itiancho. This kind of God's bone taboo had been passed down from the spirit demon race for billions of years. Legend. The God's bone taboo was a bone from the heavens. This bone was devoured by a demon beast, becoming the supreme expert of the demon race, and the power of the God's bone taboo was raised to the second level. It was just a small second realm, but he was already an invincible existence that occupied an entire piece of land. It was just that, after he had used the power of the God's bone taboo, his soul had been shattered by the power of the sky law within a short span of 1 year, and his primordial spirit had vanished completely. He couldn't withstand the backlash of the God's bone taboo. Sister-in-law, 1 / plus health, strongest upgrade system in the tens of thousands of years of history. Not many demon clan experts knew how to cultivate this kind of God's bone taboo, because its power of heavenly retribution was just too terrifying. Long Quan Tien never thought that Itiancho was a complete madman. He actually used the power of the King of Hell to forcefully raise the power of the God's bone taboo to the third level. This power was too terrifying, an existence that could destroy the heavens and the earth. Chapter 38_8419/2356791. If he wasn't crazy, then he couldn't be a demon. If he wasn't crazy, then he couldn't be a demon. Itiancho was a complete madman. Staring at Long Quan Tien, who was in the sky, his voice lowered. Long Quan Tien, what other power do you have? Take it out. Before he could finish, demon eyes of destruction. Sky demon. Voila! The sky split open, and a gigantic illusion of a demon beast descended, immediately pressing down on Long Quan Tien. Boom! In an instant, he had managed to push the colossal dragon to the ground. Itiancho walked forward with a dark smile, stood in front of Long Quan Tien, and asked, "Are there any stronger powers?" "No more." Boom! His right fist turned into a bone as it flew towards Long Quan Tien's head like a cannon. The head of the dragon was sinking, and the bones on its head were cracking. Feeling good? Boom! Itiancho once again punched down, followed by a series of explosions. Is the Long family amazing? To slaughter my demon clan and destroy my demon sect. You are extraordinary, right? Boom, boom, boom. Punch after punch. The dragon's body was sent back into human form. His entire body was dripping with blood, as if all his scales had been pulled out. In another place, Long Fei was burning with anxiety. I have to do something. I have to do something. What can I do? Ah! 3-rate peerless technique. Explode. Looking at his own ancestor being beaten up to such a state, the anger in his heart was also boiling. The god's devil blade fell into his hands. Her entire body moved, heavily leaping up as she chopped down at Itiancho's head. Bam! In this instant, Itiancho suddenly stopped. Both of his eyes slanted and stared at Long Fei, who was in the air, and with a sinister smile, a surge of power erupted from his body and directly grabbed Long Fei by the throat. Itiancho laughed and said, Long Quan Tien, I forgot to introduce him to you. He is the descendant of your Long family. What a pity. He's just a piece of trash with 0 dragon blood activation. Haha, you still don't know? Your Long family has already been defeated to the point of being a trash clan. Huh? Long Quantian glanced at Long Fei. 0. Long Fei felt his throat being grabbed and was extremely uncomfortable. Looking at Long Quantian, he said with difficulty, "Senior, I'm sorry. I've disappointed you." "No, dragon blood activation is 0. This is the first time I've seen it." However, Long Quantian smiled excitedly and brought the idea into Long Fei's mind. "Have you brought the dragon salure yet?" Long Fei's brows shook. "In the hands of the dark demon." Long Quantian said, "Go and snatch the dragon salure back." And then, Long Quantian's face was filled with contempt as he stared at Tiancho, who had gone insane. He laughed. "Little Een, is this all you have?" Infuriated, Tiancho sent another wave of wildly exploding attacks at him. It was also at this time that his control over Long Fei slightly loosened. Long Quantian's strength directly sent Long Fei out. Originally, Long Quantian's heart was dead silent, but Long Fei's appearance made him burn, especially the matter regarding the negative activation to dragon blood, which greatly shocked him. After Long Fei was sent flying, Tiancho did not chase after him, but instead bombarded him crazily. Such a small amount of strength? Ha ha! Can you withstand this level of strength? Long Quantian laughed arrogantly. "At most, let me tickle you." Long Fei was flung out. At this moment, the dark demon couldn't help but sneer. "Trash? Are you even qualified to fight against the Monster King?" Long Fei wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth, then curled his lips and laughed coldly. The god's devil blades that were dragged on the ground made clattering sounds as it said, "Are you not fit to fight with him? Then am I worthy of fighting with you?" As soon as he finished, "Go steps." Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Long Fei attacked like a ghost. The god's devil blade moved, killing everything it had. At this moment, the dark demon gave a disdainful sneer and said, "You are just a piece of trash. I can crush you to death with one finger." Boom! The dark arrogance on his body moved and suddenly rose. It blocked Long Fei's god's devil blade. At this moment, Long Fei bellowed, "Tongue-drawing king, open. Scissor King's might, open. The power of the Mirror King, open." Bang, bang, bang. There were 2 levels of the Infernal Realms 18, which he hadn't managed to kill the city governor of, and all of the power of the other 16 had been unleashed. The power on the wild blade in Long Fei's hand became increasingly stronger. The dark demon's forehead broke out in cold sweat, and he thought to himself, "I never thought that they would become so powerful in such a short period of time. Is this the power of the Long family?" The dark demon's eyes turned sinister as he let out an angry roar. "Dark Triuan Chi, attack!" An explosion sounded from the dark demon's body. The 3 dark arrogants surrounding him rushed out of his body, like rolling black smoke turning into skulls that struck towards Xiang Long Fei. "Be careful." Long Quantian frowned and shouted loudly. Tiancho sneered. "You should still be careful of yourself." He punched Long Quantian in the face. "Be careful, young lord. Young lord." At this time, Xiaobai rushed out. Ice and Fire also rushed out. The strategist's gaze darkened, and his voice sounded like thunder. He shouted loudly, "Everyone get into position." It was also at this moment. Long Fei revealed a sinister smile. "I was afraid that you would not release all 3 of your powers, and now you are out. Then prepare to die." Multiple shadows. 8th body. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Long Fei was afraid that the Dark Demon King would use his dark energy to protect himself. If he used it to defend himself, Long Fei would not be able to do anything for the time being. Now the dark arrogance had come out. That's easy. The 8 figures landed in 8 different directions of the Dark Demon, each holding a god's devil blade, and started killing the Dark Demon's body. Kill. Spears of the Wolf God. Skyfire. Kill. Kill him. Let's see what else he can still be arrogant for. Xiao Bai's attacks, the attacks of the Ice and Fire, Lang Qianli, and the others' attacks all struck at the Dark Demon God's body. Damn it! Long Fei said excitedly. Your power has left your body. The defense of your body is 0. I want to see if you can take it or not. The dark demon was also furious, but he didn't retract the 3 flames and said, "Even if I die, I will kill you first." It did not weaken, but became stronger. "Kill me. You are not worthy." Devil Snake sighed. The moment the 3 energies landed, Long Fei immediately released the Lamia's eyes of petrification, slightly petrifying the Dark Demon King. The time was very short, less than 10% of a second. However, to Long Fei, who was at the 6th level of the War God realm, this little bit of time was more than enough. Breaking free from the restraints and not retreating, he rushed forward and viciously chopped down with his saber. The people from the Long family never retreat. Rumble, Long Fei's blade descended, and the other attacks instantly crashed into the barrier. "Are you very arrogant?" Baidu's sister-in-law, AA half. "Floating life, strongest upgrade system. I'm even more arrogant than you." Rumble, rumble, rumble. The dark demon's body was crushed like mad, and blood sprayed all over the place. Is this great? Chapter 48_8419/2356792. Dark Demon's entire body was bleeding. Dark Demon's entire body was bleeding. It was so painful that it let out howls like a pig being butchered. It was exactly as Long Fei had expected. The 3 dark devil flames that he had released were powerful, but that was his profound cheese power. Without the protection of these 3 forces, his physical defense was reduced to the lowest possible level. It could be said, he relied on these 3 dark devil flames. Long Quantian laughed excitedly. "Good boy, this is so cool." Itiancho also noticed that the Dark Demon King was heavily injured, and the idea had sunk. Just as he was thinking about how to deal with Long Fei, Long Quantian slapped his face and scolded, "What are you trying to do? Your target is me. Hurry up and continue. Don't tell me you don't want revenge for your ugly and blind father." Itiancho was furious once again as he continuously attacked Long Quantian. Long Quantian said arrogantly. However, his life was rapidly slipping away. The power of the 3rd level was something he could not shake. The only thing he could do now was to delay Itiancho and let him obtain the Dragon Salure. What happened next? With the Dragon Salure, everything would be easy. At this moment, Itiancho suddenly stopped and laughed sinisterly. "You want to obtain the Dragon Salure, right? Do you think I will let you succeed?" While they were talking, Itiancho shouted loudly, "Dark Demon, he wants to snatch the Dragon Salure. We definitely can't let him succeed." He quickly withdrew his profound chi back into his body. Hearing Itiancho's words, he laughed coldly and said, "My lord, don't worry. We will definitely not get the Dragon Salure." While they were talking, the Dark Demon took out the Dragon Salure, looked at Long Fei, who had 8 clones, and laughed proudly. "You want to snatch back the Dragon Salure, right? Ha! The supreme artifact. Ah, if he fell into Long Quantian's hands, then." The Dark Demon also suddenly wanted to pass. "What a pity. What a pity. You'll never get your Dragon Salure again. For generations, Yulong family should forget about obtaining any more Dragon Salure." Long Fei's brows sank and said, "What are you planning to do?" Dark Demon laughed. "What are you doing?" He picked up the Dragon Salure and bit into it. "I want to eat it." Long Fei did not stop him. However, Long Quantian was a little afraid and said, "We can't let him swallow the Dragon Salure." Long Fei laughed blandly. "You better not eat, if not." The Dark Demon laughed complacently. "What else would happen? Can you bite me?" Long Fei, as long as I do not attack, my profound chi will allow me to be in an invincible position. As long as I swallow the Dragon Salure, Long Quantian will die at the hands of the Demon King, and it will also die miserably in my hands, ha ha. While they were talking, he continuously swallowed the Dragon Salure into his body. Itiancho also laughed wildly with pride. "Well done, Long Quantian. The Dark Demon is a gant beast of abyss. His body can refine anything. No matter how powerful your Dragon Salure is, unable to refine it, you can forget about finding it." Ha ha ha. Long Tian, your last hope has been shattered. What strength do you still have to fight me? At this moment, the dark demon called the dragon's salyer into his stomach and burped. He laughed excitedly. The supreme dragon knife is just not the same. Its eating is so good. Long Fei laughed. Did you enjoy your meal? The dark demon said, Awesome, kid. Your long family is like a tiger without its teeth. Let's see how long you can continue jumping for. Long Fei asked again, Is it really that great? The dark demon laughed. Just at this moment, his face suddenly became pale. Long Fei laughed and said, Is your stomach hurting? I told you not to eat, but you just wouldn't listen. Right now, you must have a stomachache. Are all your internal organs rolling around? Ha ha! Long Fei laughed complacently. He was no fool. When Tiancho told him a hand over the dragon salyer, he immediately thought that this blade was a threat to him, so he kept the power of the Yan Huang ancestor on it. Swallowing into his stomach? Isn't this courting death? The dark demon held his stomach with both hands and was in so much pain that his entire body was sweating. He was shaking nonstop. My stomach, it hurts so much. His belly swelled. Everyone was surprised for a moment, but seeing this, they all laughed out loud. Ha ha, this is the tempo of birth. Dark demon, didn't you act quite arrogantly just now? Why does it hurt so much now? Feeling good, everyone laughed out loud. The dark demon's face was pale as a sheet as he stared at Long Fei and roared. You dog, what's on the dragon's salyer? What exactly did you do? Long Fei laughed. It's poisonous. You're in a hurry to puke it out right now, or else. Tiancho said in a low voice, Don't spit it out. Just as he was speaking, Long Tian slapped him again. Why do you have to be so cocky? Your target is me, and why don't you scratch me? Tiancho was about to go crazy. He wanted to help Dark Demon suppressing the dragon salyer, but he couldn't leave. Long Tian kept on sticking to him. The Dark Lord leaped up and fell down again, his belly growing bigger and bigger. It's about to happen. It's about to happen. It's really about to happen. I've really never seen a man giving birth to a child before. This is something completely new. Ha! At this moment, the dark demon god was in so much pain that he could no longer take care of himself. Yan Huang ancestor laughed coldly. Gant beast of abyss? You want to swallow and refine a body like this? You're courting death. Seeing the Dark Lord do this, Tiancho gritted his teeth as if he had broken something and let out a ripping sound. He roared angrily towards the sky. Fourth level, forbidden. Boundless mana, open. Rumble. The power in his body increased explosively once again. The fourth level of God's Bone taboo opened. The entire infernal realm was crushed by his aura. Long Fei's mind could not take it anymore, and spat out a mouthful of blood, his face extremely pale. Lang Qianli and the others were crushed even more so. They were all lying on the ground. Their faces looked as though they were about to die, feeling extremely miserable. Master, boom boom, Xiao Bai and the ice and fire uncontrollably attacked the war pet space. He couldn't bear it. Long Fei stared at Tiancho in the blink of an eye, his face filled with shock. The boss is going berserk. Pain. But Long Fei revealed an excited smile. At this moment, the bones on Tiancho's body turned black and emitted a cold light. A powerful demon phantom slowly crawled out from the top of his head. Wah! Long Tian, go and die. A bone blade was pulled out like a spear of death. It pierced through Long Tian's forehead. Long Tian glared at him furiously. Long Fei was burning with anxiety. He roared loudly, Ancestor, my life is hanging by a thread. Yan Huang Ancestor was also furious. His power exploded inside the dark demon's body. Break. Sister-in-law, 1-/ plus health. Strongest upgrade system, the dragon salyer flew out. Long Tian's right hand shot into the sky as he shouted excitedly, Blade attack! The dragon salyer landed heavily in his hands. Chapter 5. Thank you for your support. The sea is very grateful. 8_8419/2356793 Whoosh! Whoosh! Boom! One flying, one broken. Descend. It heavily fell into Long Quangtian's hands, just like an old friend that had not appeared for a long time. The moment he landed in Long Quangtian's hands, the surrounding space began to tremble. The entire hell was shaking, and the entire 18th floor of hell was trembling. The aura on Long Quangtian's body suddenly became different. Haha, Littleine, you're going to see your father. Long Quangtian smiled sinisterly. Fourth level of the forbidden area. The bone spike in Tiancho's hand pierced down ruthlessly, and he roared, Long Quangtian, go and die. He was forced into a corner. The power of the third level of the taboo was not enough to kill Long Quangtian in a short period of time. So he desperately activated the fourth level of the taboo, a state filled with lawlessness. He just wanted to kill Long Quangtian before he got his hands on the dragon salure. Break his primordial spirit. In that instant, Long Quangtian obtained the dragon salure. Tiancho did not retreat. There was excitement in his eyes. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit. The black bone blade was only 10 centimeters away from Long Quangtian's forehead. 5 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 2 centimeters, 1. The moment it was about to pierce into Long Quangtian's forehead, Tiancho's body suddenly trembled and continued to tremble. Pain, incomparable pain. A vivid and lifelike illusion of the dark dragon god pierced through his body, causing him to look extremely sinister, his gigantic body locking him down tightly. His eyes drooped slightly as the dragon salure entered his body. Long Quangtian revealed his bloodied teeth as he smiled. Littleine, are you familiar with this pain? Too terrifying. The illusory image of the dark dragon god was extremely sinister. This was not the first time this had happened. It was the second time, and the last time he did this, it was also because of this dark dragon god. Everyone was shocked. The instant his life was hanging by a thread, Long Quangtian attacked back. Is that the power of the dragon salure? Long Fei was extremely shocked in his heart. Looking at the extremely lifelike image of the dark dragon god, he was extremely moved. Yin Huang ancestor said, the dragon salure in his hands has already reached the second stage of evolution. This is due to his power. Strength, Long Fei faintly said in his heart. I'm already at the 6th level of the war god realm. Is my strength not enough? Yin Huang ancestor said, strength is not only the power of the realm, but also the power to coordinate with dragon salure. However, speaking of which, this supreme artifact is really strong. Even in your ancestors' hands, the dragon salure did not release its full power. Otherwise, it would be even more terrifying. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. At this time, he was not in the mood to think about anything else. He stared at the HP above Tiancho's head and said, I need to think of a way to shoot him. At this moment, the dark demon slowly stood up. His stomach was ripped open, and fresh blood flowed wildly. Seeing Tiancho's body being entangled by a huge black dragon, he cried out in shock, Your Highness, Demon King. Ah! The dark demon rushed forward recklessly. Long Quangtian frowned. He no longer had the power to deal with anyone. Although the attack of the dark demon wasn't as strong as Tiancho's, but once his power smashed down, Long Quangtian wouldn't be able to take it either. Tiancho's heart was in great pain, but he didn't waver in his desire to kill Long Quangtian. He continued to exert his strength and loudly shouted, Kill him! The dark demon turned into a black fog and descended. At this moment, Long Fei's idea sank. 3-rate peerless technique. Open. Boom! The power of a level 6 war god completely exploded. Teleport. With a step forward, he blocked in front of Dark Demon. The god's devil blade, his hands moved and pointed at Dark Demon. Your opponent is me. Ah! The Dark Devil was enraged. The dark fog began to churn. Dark 3 Essence Chi. Open for me. I want to see if your speed is faster or mine. 3 gusts of dark fog rolled down. Long Fei's eyes darkened, and his breathing calmed down. He looked at the body of the dark demon and started, inhale, exhale, inhale. His body was constantly adjusting itself. Finally, We enter into a state of selflessness. It was also at this moment. His eyes were wide with fury. One slash. Kill. His figure moved, turning into a streak of light before disappearing. Just like a flash of white light, when he appeared again, his body had already landed behind the dark demon's back. It was also at this time that the dark demon's head flew up. His eyes were filled with incomparable shock. At that moment, he saw something that made him incomparably terrified. Death. The death of the primordial spirit. Boom! The head of the dark demon fell off. His body slightly trembled. After taking half a step forward, he also collapsed. Ding! The system sounded out. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Dark Demon for obtaining 1 experience point, True Chi point, and Energy Values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dark Demon Blood Vein. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dark 3 Essence. Do you wish to cultivate it? The system sounded out. What a pity. Long Fei no longer had striking energy value. Huff! Long Fei became excited. Looking at the set of the Dark Demon Divine Arts, the idea moved. Cultivate. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100 experience points for cultivating Dark 3 Essence. 100 True Chi, 100 points reward. Skill Path, Dark 3 Essence Grade. Divine Body / Divine Body / Divine Soul / Divine Body / Divine Body / Divine Soul 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 / Divine Abilities. Proficiency. Wu Consumption. True Chi Description. This cultivation technique is called Dark Magic. It is condensed in the Dark Demon Abyss and possesses a strong power of darkness. Description 2. Able to defend. Able to enter the body through darkness and defend against high damage. Able to attack and cause strong damage. Description 3. Once the Dark Chi is released, your body's defense will be reduced by 40%, increasing your attack by 40%. Looking at the description of the skill, Long Fei muttered in his heart. No wonder he reduced the damage he dealt to attack. Otherwise, it would be impossible for Long Fei to kill the Dark Demon. Haha! Kid, well done. You are truly worthy of being our Long family seed. Long Quantian laughed excitedly. The worry in his heart had also disappeared. The surrounding people also began to cheer. The young lord is mighty. The young lord is domineering. At this moment, Long Quantian smiled slightly and said, Littleine, all of your people have died. You demons have been in chaos in the South Horizon region for 1,000 years. So if I don't kill you, there will be no peaceful path for the South Horizon region. The reason why you demi-humans were killed was all because of you, demi-humans. Do you understand? Ancho refused to accept it. Long Quantian, even if I were to die today, I will definitely pull you down with me. Long Quantian laughed. Why are you doing this? Back then, when I was still young, I gave you a chance to be reincarnated and become a human. Ancho had already fallen into a state of berserk madness. His eyes rolled back as he roared towards the sky. King Yama, are you still not going to make your move? Chapter 18_8419/2356794. Ichincho's voice fell. Ichincho's voice fell. Long Quantian's face changed slightly as he exclaimed in his heart, This is bad. He had forgotten that this was hell, and that there was a controller of the 18th level of hell, the King of Hell. Ahaha! Ahaha! King Yinlua's wild laughter spread throughout the sky. Is it finally my turn to fight? The sound exploded. The 18 levels of hell began to rumble. Long Quantian's brows twitched and said to Long Fei, Quickly leave. Leave. Where can I go? This is hell, and I am the sky here. Can you walk out of the control of the heavens? The voice of King Yama resounded arrogantly. He was in charge of the entire Ghost Manor in the South Horizon region. The 18 hells of hell was something he controlled all by himself. Just where could he go? Itiancho also laughed out loud and said, Long Quang Tian, you probably don't know yet, but the Long family junior in front of you is still a person. He's still a living person, not a dead person like you. Long Quang Tian's heart trembled when he saw Long Fei's actions. His face was filled with excitement, and he started laughing out loud. Only the Long family would be able to cause such a ruckus like this in hell. Boy, you're too handsome. You're much more handsome than I am. At least, I couldn't have been able to do that back then. He really couldn't do it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have died. Ahaha. King Yama laughed out wildly and said, So what if he's alive? So what if they were from the Long family? All of them will die today. It's King Yama. What should we do? What are you afraid of? What is there to be afraid of here? When I followed the young master, I never thought of leaving this place alive. Being able to do something so exciting in my lifetime, it's already more than enough. Young master, what do you think we should do? Everyone looked at Xiang Longfei. They knew that even if they recovered their peak strength, they would still not be a match for the King of Hell. However, he still wanted to do something extra for Long Fei and fight it out with him, because they were extremely close to breaking through the 18th level of Hell. Long Fei also understood in his heart that these people could not bear King Yinluo's attacks, and asked Yin Huang Ancestor, Ancestor, how are your preparations going? Yin Huang Ancestor said, Brat, there's only one way to bring them out, Death Calling God Seal. Only by absorbing all their primordial spirits into the Death Calling God Seal would we be able to take them all out. You have to think this through. Once you absorb their primordial spirit into your divine seal, you won't be able to summon anything from hell. You can only release them. Simply put, Yin Huang Ancestor had modified the Yellow Springs summoning seal. Long Fei could only choose one, which would either maintain the power of the Yellow Springs summoning seal or choose these villains. Long Fei practically did not hesitate at all and said, I choose them. I've already torn myself to pieces with the King of Hell. Once I use the summoning divine seal, will he be able to summon me? That's impossible. And which sect in the entire South Horizon region has such great power over this previously famous war Emperor Realm expert? Nantian sect? The Chao Heaven sect does not have any of them. Yin Huang Ancestor said, All right, then I'll begin. Before he could finish, he infused one of his power into the Death Calling God seal, and after 2 seconds, he said to Long Fei, All right, now let's see if they are willing to hand over their own primordial spirits or not. Long Fei turned around and asked, Do you guys believe me? And then, Long Fei said heavily once again, Do you believe that I can bring you out here? I can't bring you out of the 18 levels of hell, but into the world of living. The faces of all the villains changed. He was a bit confused. It was as if he didn't understand what was going on. Lang Chinli asked woodenly, What did you say? Long Fei repeated, Do you believe that I can bring you out of hell and into the world of the living? Gudong, isn't this too crazy? Only a madman would think that. The underworld and the living world are two completely different worlds. How can I just rush out? However, seeing Long Fei's serious expression, Lang Chinli clenched his teeth and said, Young master, just tell me what to do. I believe you. I believe in you too. I believe you. There's nowhere to run anyways. Isn't it just to die again? Damn, it's as if you're talking about someone who hasn't died before. Ha! Young master, we'll listen to you. Seeing that everyone's blood was boiling, Long Fei did not beat around the bush and said, I want to absorb all of your origin souls into the divine seal. This way, I can bring you out. Everyone was stunned again. The only thing they had left in this hell was their primordial spirit. Long Fei took out the Death Calling God seal and said, This is the only way. Huff! Lang Chinli was ready to throw caution to the wind. The idea moved, releasing his own primordial spirit, and said, I'll go first. Whoosh! After flying into the divine seal, everyone looked at each other in dismay, many of them taking half a step back. However, there were also quite a few people who released their primordial spirit and were absorbed by the Yellow Springs summoning seal. In less than half a minute, There were 1,500 villains, and 500 of them did not choose to release their primordial spirit. To them, primordial spirit was life. If he were to absorb the life from the divine seal, it would most likely be gone. Long Fei did not make it difficult for them, and said, "Quickly escape." Everyone had their own choices. 1,000 villains chose to believe that Long Fei had already exceeded his expectations. He couldn't force the other 500 places, so he could only give his blessings. Long Fei kept the Yellow Springs summoning seal, and turned to look at the amount of blood on Etiencho's head. Similarly, the amount of blood on Long Quantian's head was also running low. He had to hurry. The 500 villains looked at each other, then turned around and rushed back into the 17th level of hell. However, the King of Hell coldly laughed. "I've always wanted to purify the 18 levels of hell. UN should be wiped out by now." While they were talking, a powerful force bombarded down from the King of Hell. Boom! With a loud sound, more than 500 villains were instantly killed. Long Fei turned his head to look. "Yama Minamiya, fuck your ancestors." Although they didn't choose him, they were still brothers that had to struggle hard all the way. The anger in Long Fei's heart raged. King Yama laughed loudly. "Don't worry, I'll be waiting for you soon. Now, I'll get rid of Long Quantian first, then I'll kill you, you little bastard." King Yama was not in a hurry. He was not in a hurry at all. The eyes of two Yama kings appeared in the air. They stared at Long Quantian and said, "You have been in hell for 10,000 years. You should have been evolved by now, right?" Strongest upgrade system. Long Quantian's mind trembled. He currently did not have any extra strength to fight against the King of Hell. As long as the attack of the King of Hell falls, he would definitely die. His heart tightened. Long Quantian asked, "It doesn't matter if I die. King Yama, I want to ask you one last time. Just where did the ancestors of my Long family go?" Chapter 28_8419/2356795. This was a problem that he had always wanted to figure out. This was a problem that he had always wanted to figure out. This was also the reason he entered the underworld. King Yinluo laughed maniacally. "You have asked me 108,000 times already, but my answer is still the same. I just won't tell you." "Finished." King Yama laughed sinisterly. "However, you'll know very soon. Perhaps once your primordial spirit dies, you'll be able to find them. Long Quantian, you have been a madman for life as a ghost. Now go to hell." As soon as he finished speaking, the monstrous shadow of the Yama King directly sent a beam of energy crashing down. It was aimed at Long Quantian's head and bombarded downwards. It was also at this time. Whoosh! Long Fei moved and flew into the air, roaring, "Enchanted!" Boom! Instantly transforming into the Sky Demon Beast. The Sky Demon set released the unconscious devil flames. Following that, Long Fei roared in his heart, "Darkness Triuan Chi. Protect your body. 3-rate Peerless Technique. 8 times the elemental energy. Protect me." Boom! Long Fei's body exploded with power, all of his power being used to protect his body, because he directly blocked the power of the King of Hell. It did not come crashing down. Long Fei's body sank. His face turned extremely pale, and at the same time, he spat out a large mouthful of blood. He used his body to block the attack. It was forcefully blocked. It was incomparably terrifying. His health point was rapidly decreasing, but Long Fei bellowed towards the sky, "Come again." King Yama's gaze turned sinister. "You dog, I like to see how many times you can bear with it." Death strike. Rumble. A black beam of light descended from the sky. This time, he did not attack Long Quantian, but's body instead. Rumble. Long Fei's back exploded. The wings of the Sky Demon were broken. Long Fei's body also sank slightly, but he did not escape. He remained as arrogant as ever and said, "King of Hell, you punk, come again." King Yama was also enraged. He roared, boom, rumble, rumble, bang after bang of energy, smashed onto Long Fei's body. Long Fei's body continued to sink, but he did not dodge. He endured the power of the king of hell again and again. Unwell. It was hard to bear, but he managed to withstand it. The wings of the demonic was destroyed. The sky demon armor was also destroyed. If the holy artifact could not withstand the force of the attack from the king of Yama, how powerful was that power? The muscles of the upper half of Long Fei's body seemed as though they were made of copper water, as their lines were distinct, and fresh blood seeped out of every pore of his body. Long Fei's entire body was drenched in blood. On his head, face, and mouth, his entire body was covered in blood as he crawled out of the blood pool. He did not retreat even half a step. Long Fei was as arrogant as before. He was as arrogant as before and said, "Boom, you're not awesome. Kill." Too arrogant, too overbearing. It was all based on a single breath. No matter how strong one's physical body was, it would not be able to withstand an attack like the one King of Hells. King Yama was going crazy. The entire Netherworld kingdom was stunned. Even when he had faced the inhuman heavenly spirit King Yama back then, he did not do this. Now that he was forced to such a state by Long Fei, his heart was filled with incomparable rage. Huff, huff, huff. King Yama's breath was like flames. Long Fei said arrogantly, "Aren't you heaven? Aren't you the chief sovereign of hell? Come on, come and kill me, haha. I've said that I will overturn your 18th level of hell. Today, I'll definitely overturn it. Haha." Insolent to the point of being a complete mess. King Yinluo was so angry that smoke began to rise from his head. If he could enter the 18th level, he would instantly go down, but he couldn't enter right now because he had to refine the 18th level of hell once again. This way, he absolutely could not go in. Arrogant, right? Arrogant, right? The bones of the people of the Long family are hard, right? King Yinluo's voice became gloomy, and he said, "Let me see how arrogant you are, and how many bones you have lost." Boom! As his voice faded, a golden light flashed in the sky. A judge, natal implement. The judge's pen was like a golden sword that was floating in the sky. It was flashing with golden light and exuding a terrifying energy. Long Fei's heart sank, and his teeth clenched tightly. Holy **T. The natal implement has been summoned. Itiancho was initially extremely excited, but when he saw Long Fei, who was in midair, unceasingly blocking King Yinluo's attacks, his face darkened. "You dog!" Long Quantian was also shocked, speechless. "Little rascal, you." Even a Yin Huang ancestor did not expect this. Long Fei would use his own body to block King Yinluo's attacks, and in addition, it would be dozens of attacks. Long Fei grinned as he laughed extremely crazily. He was still as arrogant as before when facing the natal implement of King Yinluo, and said, "Senior, the people from Long family never admit defeat. Even if we have to face death, we have to continue to be arrogant." Ha! If he did not block it, Long Quantian would definitely die. Long Quantian was dumbstruck. He looked at Long Fei and thought back to what Long Fei had said. The people of Long family never admit defeat. If they live, they are crazy. Good. I almost forgot. This is a famous saying left behind by our ancestors. The people of Long family never admit defeat. If you are still alive, you have to continue being crazy. Long Quantian's gaze darkened, and he said, "Brat, you are crazy. You are a son of the Long family." Haha! Long Quantian suddenly laughed out wildly. His voice was low as he roared, "Become a dragon. Rumble." He had always been crushed to the ground by Itiancho and had been forced back into his human form. However, at this moment, a burst of power exploded in his body, transforming into a huge dragon. At this moment, Long Quantian was extremely sinister. The dragon's salure bit into his mouth, and the might of the dragon's salure was even more terrifying. Dragon Saber Unity. Dragon Slash. Die! Long Quantian swung his huge tail, and his entire body flashed down like lightning. At this moment, Long Fei's heart trembled. At this time, he could not care so much and directly said, "Ancestor, please lend me a bit of your power." Yin Huang ancestor released a stream of energy. Take it. Long Fei moved and roared in his heart. No matter what, you must cause a little bit of damage. You must definitely. All his strength was used for defense. His own strength was exhausted. True Qi was exhausted. He was exhausted. His health point was also falling crazily, and King Yama's natal implement was about to fall. Under these kinds of circumstances, he would absolutely not be able to resist it. Long Fei roared. Just before Long Quantian's attack with his dragon blade combined was released, he released a bit of Yin Huang ancestor's power. At the same time, the shining golden judge pen in the sky struck down at his head. Baidu search. Half afloat, you must die. Definitely. At this moment, if the supreme being of the spirit demon race, Tiancho, doesn't die, then he will die. Chapter 38_8419/2356796. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.